All right. How's it going, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending where you are around the world. Welcome to a Capital Hungry live market analysis stream. It is currently Tuesday, February 2nd, coming towards 2 a.m. Eastern, pre-London hours. We are going to be doing some intraday and scalp trade analysis across gold, GBP JPY, GBP USD, EURUSD, USDCAD, as well as US30. Before I jump into it and we look at what economic data or events we have going on overnight, can I get an audio and visual check? You guys should be able to see the news to the left side of your screen here, which we will be monitoring, reading, and reviewing in a little bit to see if there's anything high impactful, as well as just gold on the hourly chart for now. As we will do analysis on the various time frames and zoom down the time frames, but just for here, just right now. Okay? Everything's good? All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Don't forget, it's the start of a fresh new month. The fiscal year so far has started out fairly slow, as 2020 brought us so much volatility and various fundamental catalysts that got priced into the market. You can see a lot of that. You can see a lot of that coronavirus fear from the start of 2020, and even the optimism from later on in those vaccine talks got priced in. And January was fairly a slow month, as investors are sitting on the sidelines, letting the new year set up. Hopefully, February brings a lot more volume and volatility. We're looking at some of what is going on tonight. We just had right now in 2 minutes, actually. Well, it's already got released, but the nationwide house pricing economic data for the UK, which that data just came out, it was poor. Other than that, overnight tonight, we do have France and Italy GDP data. Sorry, France CPI at 2:45 a.m. Eastern, Italy GDP data at 4 a.m. Eastern, and then Eurozone overall's flash PMI at flash GDP at 5 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, we don't have too much as per economic data we're going to be focused on. We're going to be primarily looking at some of the reactive headlines to the left side of the screen here, as well as market sentiment and investor behavior. When we look at how global stock markets and our safe haven currencies are behaving, which we're going to take a look at now. So what we can see is that the Japanese yen has been relatively flat, but it still hasn't broken previous intraday lows, and we are starting to see some money short term go into our fear indicators or safe haven currencies such as the US dollar and volatility index, which is still maintaining this bounce off the 21.7 lows. We're primarily going to be looking at the US dollar overnight to see its movement, because if we have some more bullish movement on the US dollar and notice that liquidity and money is flowing into the safe haven currencies, then there's going to be higher potential that we'll be able to take advantage of some GBP USD, Euro USD sells, higher probability of gold sells, as well as USD CAD buys, right? So let's just keep an eye on how the US dollar is going to be moving overnight through London session, because it's going to tell us a lot as per the money that's coming in or out of safe haven currencies and how we can use this information to our potential advantage. What we want to identify on the US dollar here is that for at least a few days, we were in this intraday consolidation between highs and lows, where we have had a break out of this area. If we remain out of this area and the dollar can continue up overnight, obviously we'll have some more confirms to potentially look for those EU, GU, and gold shorts, as well as USD CAD buys, right? One thing we can also identify as we're noticing this US dollar strength and Japanese yen is failing to break previous lows is that when we look at our currency, when we look at our risk currency against safe haven pairs such as GBP JPY, Euro JPY, GBP USD, Euro USD, they are starting to enter more of a corrective state from their higher time frame bullish trend. But we're just going to start off here by looking at gold on the 4-hour chart. So what we can see here with gold when we're looking at the structure is after these 2075 all-time highs were peaked, which was obviously new all-time highs past the highs that were created during like the 2008 2011 period, from all of that market fear, coronavirus pandemic fear, and the actual impact the pandemic markets had on physical gold supply, where it decreased the potential delivery of gold and the supply of gold, and increase the demand of it, which led to a massive increase in the price of physical gold, right? So you can see from that point, we were starting to respect this bearish market structure where you are seeing stronger impulsive sell moves and essentially lows being printed at the start of the year and towards the end, sorry, at the end of 2020 and the start of 2021, we had this strong buyer's impulsive move that looked like it was breaking structure, but it didn't break above these previous highs. And we had another seller's impulsive move that broke back into this range. Now gold has been in what we call a corrective state. After it has these sellers impulsive moves, it can enter this consolidation phase for an extended period of weeks before we have the next potential impulsive move when we can validate the direction of all that liquidity that's being generated. What we want to understand right now is similar to after these previous impulsive moves, that gold is currently in a higher time frame consolidation state. Understand? So for an extended period of almost a month now, when we zoom down the time frames between these candle body lows at, let's just say 1830 to about these highs around 1870, gold has been ping-ponging, generating liquidity on the higher time frames in this area for an extended period of time now. So what that tells us is, as scalpers and intraday traders, is that we can't look for trades outside of this range without that validated break. We are still technically, when we start zooming in now for that extended period of a month, playing between these highs and lows. So if we don't see buyers break these significant highs, there's just as much possibility for us to range right back down to the bottom of this of the 1830s region and these candle body lows, and then just start continuing to play in here until we have that validation of a final break to the downside, where we can see another seller's impulsive move and a break out of this liquidity zone and a continuation with that higher time frame correction, right? Or if any new market fear comes into the scene and we don't break these lows and we continue to range, and the appeal of gold as a precious metal safe haven increases because we have more market fear come to the scene. Let's just say COVID mutates and the new strains of COVID are way more dangerous than suspected. Vaccines are having crazy side effects and they're not as effective as they once said in the news that brought that optimism. All of a sudden, you have gold break out to the upside of this range. You have a lot of validation that we are going to be correcting or mirroring this downside move as we start to make our way up, and validate that all as buyer side liquidity, right? Right now, do we have a clean break of those intraday highs or intraday lows? Or is gold still in a higher time frame consolidation? Can we just start jumping in long-term sells right now and hope that gold's going to break this lower zone? Or can we just start jumping in long-term buys right now and hope that gold is going to break to the upside? Or is it best to play with the current structure and what is right in front of us and just play these ranges until we have those confirms? Right? As of right now, alongside our higher time frame key levels, and from this overall bearish market structure, we can see that we are still in this price squeeze. Okay, so what I am looking at overnight now, when we start zooming down the time frames, is if price can remain below 1855, because what we can start to notice is that we're getting significant rejection around 1870. We had the same rejection from last week, even when the bulls look so strong and around the 1876 key level. But look at where the actual candle bodies are closing. And then over New York session, look at the amount of rejection we have had at this area again. Now, between this 1855 region, as you can see to the left in this higher time frame intraday range, it can get very messy. So I don't want to start jumping in trades without the proper confirms, as we could end up coming back above 55 and just playing in this range where this price action we saw over an extended period of hours was price going up and down 120 pips. And look at how these candles were closing with the wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside, very indecisive candle bodies. We could have price very well just play in that range if we were to break back above 1855. But what I do like is how we started to break below these candle bodies and have slowly been making our way down. And the US dollar is potentially still holding strength. You have to remember, we're trading gold against the US dollar. So it does give a short term confirm that if the dollar standalone is holding strength, there's potential for that gold downside, especially if we break below 1852. In my opinion, if we can break below 1852, we're just going to continue right back down that higher time frame range and go right back down to like 1836, right? Other than that, with the current price point that we're sitting at, and when we zoom in the lower time frames and start looking at the price action on the 1 minute, let me get this out of the way. You can see that over New York, this has been extremely messy, but we've started to create some very, very faint lower time frame bearish market structure, right? Sorry, my screen was freezing there for a second. Just from this previous peak high point, even on the lower time frames, each significant push up has started to get smaller and smaller. So now I'm just looking for a price to remain below this area, and I'm looking at around 1860 and 1855 to be in a continued sell bias. But the one thing I'm being iffy about is the amount of reaction and rejection we're getting here. And you can see we're starting to form a bit of an order block, candle block high as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking for. Okay, so as scalper and intraday traders, I am starting to notice some exhaustion towards our higher time frame 1852 key level and just around this 1855 region, which is a strong higher time frame level. Okay, between these candle body lows right here and these candle body highs, we've been starting to get some reaction. Now, overall, on the intraday time frames for what I showed you guys, I still see potential that we could go down to 1836. But because it's only 2 a.m. Eastern, still pre-London hours, I would still like to get a pullback for London Open, fail to break this order block high area, then come back below 1855 for sells. And of course, the safest sells is a breakout below 1852. The only way I'm looking for corrective scalp buys on gold is if we fail to break this current area, bounce back up, come above 1855, then break above these 1 minute highs, and then we have this favorable trade of around 30 to 40 pips to 1860. But other than that, we're in the bearish bias, and we can even see right now we're reacting to 1852. So let's see if we can get a break below this area or a retest of 55 and continuation down. But because we haven't had no clean break of those 1870 highs, because this lower time frame bearish market structure is being respected, we're still in that sell. Oh, sorry about that sound. Let me turn these things off here. The sounds, at least for now, you know. Yeah, it's just sounds off there. But what I'm looking for is a pullback at London Open to retest this area, or if we just break below 1852 now for sells. Right now, still just reacting between this range, right? So we don't want to jump into nothing yet, and we still have 40 minutes. I asked for a refund from what? Google Ads. My account's not even monetized, so. Oh, we're breaking below 1852 right now. Fuck, man. I was talking too much. But wait, we still got time till London Open. But do you guys understand, based on that higher time frame range gold is in, how it could potentially ping pong between like 1820 lows and 1870 highs for weeks if we don't have a clean validation or break, as we've seen gold behave like this before after having very strong impulsive moves in the market. You have these impulsive moves, then corrective moves. No, I'm trading next week. It's just the first week of February right now, and I'm fixing up my diet and gym schedule first. But fucking gold did that breakout entry. I didn't get to type it yet. This is already fucking running a scalp here, man. This already ran like a 20 pip scalp, but fucking don't worry. We still have until London Open. So no rush, no FOMO. But hopefully, at least it makes sense to everybody about why we're primarily in a sell bias. I just with how gold has been ranging, these buys we are looking for is a favorable buy setup. If we have those confirms, but even then, we're still watching for better sells up here, anyways. You know what I'm saying? So. If you did get an 1852 entry, just be cautious of a pullback that you could still get caught in. So don't have any FOMO. Gold is known to do some very aggressive pullbacks. So just be patient with it. But other than that, we are still holding our bearish bias so far. Gee, don't you see gold on an uptrend on the higher time frames? Gold on the, if you look at the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yeah, it's very bullish on those higher time frames. You have to understand that the market moves in waves, and after such a bullish state, you start to enter a bit of a corrective phase as well, right? So with gold, especially if you look at how it's reacted after previous all-time highs were peaked, you get very strong corrections. But you can also just rewind this and understand that we are intraday trading and scalp trading, right? We're looking for potential scalps for 10, 20, 30 pips that we can also potentially turn into intraday trades if we have the validation to do so. When you're looking at gold's current price positioning on the intraday, you have to understand that it's still in that range and consolidation phase, right? So you can't just start jumping in buys when it's doing when it's doing corrections on the higher time frame. Or if you were to start jumping in buys in that higher time frame range, we break to the downside of it, then what, right? So that's why for scalp and trade ideas, these trade ideas are laid out, and we're still waiting for actual London Open itself now, because we could still get a retest to these order block highs here, and I still want to see how gold is going to react if we can slowly start making our way down. Nice little quick retest here, but let me do analysis across everything else as well. Okay. Okay, GJ. Similar to say like, hey, isn't GJ bullish? Yeah, GJ is bullish, but does that mean you can jump in buys every single day just because the overall structure is bullish? No, because you might get caught in a 150 pip pullback, right? Use your fucking brain, Jimmy. You've been watching these streams. You know? Anyway, so this is what I want to discuss and what I want to talk about now on GJ. So don't forget, it's the start of a fresh new month, and it's still very early into a fresh new year. Okay? So when you look at GBP JPY, it's not hard to see that ever since markets have been optimistic and you've had that support of central banks to their respected economies, right? As well as all these different vaccine talks, and specifically for GBP, we've had Brexit optimism. We've had this bullish market structure with continuous highs being printed. But when you zoom out and when you zoom further in and you look at how buyers and sellers behave every time a new high is printed, you can see that reaction and transaction of buyers exiting out positions at these highs, sellers jumping in to create a pullback phase. Every time GJ creates a significant intraday high, this high can get tested multiple times, either through a period of days or weeks, before you have enough order flow or validation fundamentally to have a continuation to the upside, right? So now you have to understand, yes, GJ is bullish, but as we've peaked new intraday highs at 144 flat, and we're starting to notice some exhaustion, and because it's a new month, if GJ was to enter a pullback corrective phase, we could come all the way right back down to 142, retest these previous intraday highs, grab liquidity and buyer order flow, and make the lower monthly wick, and then continue right back up. So what we want to carefully watch as we start zooming in the time frames is how our psychological price levels are reacting between buyers and sellers. Are they being used as support? Are we breaking below those quarter point and psychological price levels? Are we noticing exhaustion by buyers and them exiting out positions in the sense that lower time frame highs are starting to get smaller and smaller? Are we noticing lower time frame bearish market structure forming? That's what we want to start zooming in to watch now to see if we can start taking advantage of some GJ corrective sells. Because when you're looking and zooming out, a GJ pullback can extend 300 pips like this from 139 to 136 and still be extremely bullish, and it could do that in a day if it wants. or it could be a 50 pip pullback, 100 pip pullback, and then get enough buyer order flow and continue right back up. The way you validate how long that corrective phase is going to run for is by watching the day-to-day market structure on the lower time frames, right? So now, what I'm starting to notice is that I was initially following this overnight, okay? Or sorry, we were initially following this lower time frame bullish market structure. You guys see this? This was just since about this is on the 1 minute chart now, the psychological price levels. So for about you can see for about almost a week, this bullish market structure was being respected, where you were essentially waiting for break and retests of psychological price levels or supports to be created above higher time frame key levels and continuing to play with the buys, right? We had that continued market optimism, we were trending bullish, etc., etc., etc. Jad, shut the fuck up. Go watch educational webinars. Don't be a bum, yo. Have some dignity and respect for the brain you have inside your head. You're not as dumb as you think you are. You know what I mean? Do a little bit of research yourself. But anyways, so as these buys were being respected, and we were respecting this bullish market structure, we can see that continuous highs from these low points where we're getting supports, we were getting highs created. You'd either get a consolidation phase, a breakout above the high, and a new high. So either you're going to get upside moves and pullbacks and continuations, or upside move, consolidation, and continuation. Here you had an upside move, consolidation, continuation. Here you had an upside move, pullback, continuation. You get me? All right? So, if you think I have an ego, then press the back button on the browser where you're watching me sitting in your Fruit of Loom underwear, where you haven't taken a shower in a week. You know what I mean? Press the big red X button and go change your fucking underwear. If you think I have an ego, if you don't like the information shared, if you don't like the sound of my voice, if you don't like the color of the chart I use, you have the option to click an X and not watch it. Right? It's fucking crazy, right? So anyways, so remember how this structure was being respected for that entire week. We were just waiting for pullbacks, buys, consolidation zones, buys, right? Now, at 144, we finally noticed a shift in this structure, and we were playing this corrective structure as we started to get exhaustion at pretty much previous high points, right? As we started to notice exhaustion pretty much at previous highs and buyers exit out positions and cash out of the market, this started to create this pullback and corrective phase where yesterday we were respecting these sells until we started to create a support around previous lows 143.2, 143.3, okay? Now, what I want to look at is that I don't want to start saying that GJ is instantly buys, because this upside move and bounce after this pullback phase, the upside started to get smaller and smaller. Do you get what I'm saying? So see how we had this pullback and then we had this upside move that at least went to retest these highs and create a bit of a minor high, like even if it was 20 pips a bit bigger than the previous high. Then we had buyers exit out positions, sellers jump in, then this low created again and support created. Buyers jump back in, but look at the impulsive upside move. The low is getting smaller and smaller. All right? Fuck, man. You guys get the gold sells at 52? Who got the gold sells, man? You guys get this retest? That was a nice secondary retest, eh? When I was telling you guys right here. We still got, if you guys didn't get it, we still got London open for a retest of this order block area, okay? But so far, this played out for a quick squeeze down the ranges, but look at the pullbacks is doing. All right. But this was nice. This quick break and retest where I said this is a nice retest at 1852, even the breakout entry. We'll say 50 pips on the low side, because if you got it from 52, you know what I mean? But it's still active. That was fast though. You had about 4 minutes to enter while we were doing the GJ analysis. But anyways, while I'm doing analysis on 5 pairs, I can't keep looking back and forth at everything anyways. So anyways, that was if you guys caught that sell, that was a good sell scalp. I would secure it and leave some risk free and just patiently wait now till actual London Open. Harmon, you caught it. Fabian, did you catch it? You guys catch it or no? A few of you guys, 50% caught it, 50% were waiting. But it's all good. You had about 4 minutes only to enter. That's the beauty of gold on the lower time frames. If you didn't catch it, don't have FOMO. Okay, if you did catch it, right? All right, bro, that's it. If you did catch it, don't start trading based on greed or start over trading. Secure your 50 pips, leave it risk free, and now let's wait till London Open for another potential opportunity. If you didn't catch it, don't have FOMO or feel like you're never going to take another trade again. All right? Stop loss and take profit ranges are dependent on you, like what lot you're going to use, when you're going to enter. Stop loss and take profit, your goals are dependent on you. I could just give analysis at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But if you want to know how I like to play stop losses and measure take profit ranges, besides asking 100 questions here, go to the Capital Hungry YouTube page that you guys are on right now. Fucking no shit. Fucking sound like a retard saying that. Anyways, come to this Capital Hungry YouTube page, right? And check out this scalping series. It's a part 4 series. All right? Just check out all these webinars. If you guys want to be better equipped when we come do these live streams and you want to understand the concepts I'm using or how I'm doing this analysis, etc., check out all of these educational webinars on this Capital Hungry YouTube page. There's scalping series, etc., all right? So now if you didn't catch that trade, don't worry about it. Let's still patiently wait. But make sure you follow and subscribe to this Capital Hungry YouTube page. Follow the Capital Hungry News Twitter, which posts headlines all throughout the day and week. Free to follow, free to use, you know what I mean? Doesn't post as many headlines as this news terminal, but it's still a great resource to use. And then the free Telegram analysis channel. Good videos, eh, Island Boy? You like them? But anyways, let's just patiently wait now. If you caught that initial trade, it was good, but no worries if you didn't. Now, what I want to talk about on GJ is that I am only looking for buys above 143.8. I'm starting to look for sells below here because of the exhaustion we're starting to get at these new intraday highs and the potential for buyers to start exiting positions, sellers to jump in and create that higher time frame pullback. You guys get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying GJ is bull. I'm not saying GJ is bearish higher time frames or GJ is a sell off on the higher time frames. I'm saying we could start playing some potentially, we could start playing some pullback and corrective structure if we notice buyers fail to break these highs. All right. So I'm just going to remove this to clean it up a bit because I just want to identify that this bounce is getting significantly lower. Okay. So now let me just type this out for you guys. Let me type this out for you guys and mute myself. All right, so we can see that the Japanese yen is starting to come to a point where it's failing to break previous intraday lows, as well as the dollar's a bit mixed, but also still sitting at previous intraday highs. So there is money going into the safe haven currencies, which could potentially give us higher probability of that pullback on our Japanese yen pairs, right? Sorry about that. Somebody is messaging me. So the only thing is the higher time frames are still very bullish on GJ, but I don't want to start jumping in buys where we can start to see some rejection at 143.8 and then come right back down. So if we fail to break below 0.500 during London session hours and then we break above 143.8, that scalp opportunity 20 pips back up to the previous highs and potentially to new highs is still very valid. But that's only if we break below 143.800. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Too many people said that the YouTube chat takes away from the value of the stream. So any annoying shit, I'm just gonna get the moderators to remove, especially retards. You know what I mean? Like Callie and shit like that. Just like these guys think they're my friends because they watch me talk about markets. Like we're not friends, buddy. I don't know you. Because I stream on YouTube and we interact in a YouTube chat, but you don't fucking know me. Safe as sound. Right? So I'm just trying to clean up so we can continue to provide value, focus on what is at hand, which is trading the markets, creating these trade ideas, staying as emotionally smart as possible. Bam, 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 bam. Right? So with GJ, how it's sitting at intraday highs, with how we haven't had a clean break above our previous highs just yet, and we're starting to range. I am only looking for sells if we come below 143.5 and only buys if we come back above 143.800, right? This guy probably got a lot of friends. Yeah, man. I hope you can fix your fucking language before you come into, you know what I mean? Holy, that was some bad. Put full screen. Don't worry about that, man. I still like to answer questions. I still like to answer questions, of course. You know what I mean? So, because some people bring very good discussions to the table. Some people ask very good questions. They send charts and analysis. And then you got broke ass bums who are like miserable with their life. They got to go run a janitor job after this, and obviously they're gonna be pissed off. You know what I mean? So now, yeah, it's just the way life works. You have to understand that the majority of people are very miserable. Like, you know what I mean? This is why did anybody who take those gold cells cash out when I told you to cash out 50 pips and leave some runners risk free? I'm only saying that from experience. I've worked every single job. You know what I mean? I've been working since I was 14. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked in banks. I've worked in big corporate offices. Everybody's miserable everywhere. Yeah, hopefully you guys cashed out. Let's see what happens now for actual London Open because I want to see how this hourly candle actually ends up closing. If it closes as bearish as we're looking at, then hopefully we can get a retest of 55 and then continuation down, right? The reason I'm looking at 0.800 is because those are the psychological price levels specifically on GJ that I like to use that's similar to following the quarter point theory, but just specifically back tested on GJ. If you go mark out 0.00, 0.200, 0.500 and 0.800, and you go back test the lower time frame reactions there, you're going to see great reactions between buyers and sellers depending on the trend, of course. In a bearish trend, you'll see these price points usually get retested for more sellers to jump in. In a bullish trend, you see these price points get retested and more buyers jump in. It's following the quarter point theory, but it's a bit more defined for GJ specifically, just through some years of technical back testing. So check those price points out yourself and watch the reactions. All right. Now, I want to see how this hourly candle is going to be closing. And if we look at the 30-minute on gold, be cautious because we had a very strong bearish close, but I don't want to see a full correction. So if we could still remain below 52 and 55, and then the next hour we still see that bearish price action, then we'll look for more sells. But if gold at London session comes above this area at 1857, this 1 minute rejection area we've seen overnight, then this buy opportunity for 50 pips up is still very much valid to retest 1861. All right. So this is why I didn't want anybody to get FOMO when they missed the gold sell. And this is why whoever did catch the gold sell, I wanted you to at least cash out and secure 50 pips, because through experience, it is very easy through experience, it's very easy to get caught in these whipsaws on gold on the lower time frames, especially when it's in those very strong higher time frame ranges where I was showing you guys that intraday range it's been in. It whipsaws up and down very aggressively. So as you are scalping, you're only meant to be in the market for a short period of time and essentially be in and out, taking your jab at the market, cashing out, and then watching your risk and being as emotionally neutral as possible. So I always like to give that advice for anybody who was up 50 pips to take that, bank it out, and secure everything else risk-free. Worst case with this pullback, a running position got taken out risk-free, right? But for the people who didn't catch the trade, I didn't want them to start getting FOMO and jumping in sells willy-nilly down here just because they're feeling emotional, because then they would have got caught in this pullback and been 10 times more pissed. Okay? There is no current high impact news. When you see any news that's going to impact the market, you have to understand and be able to digest. Is this negative news or positive news? If it is negative news and shakes investor confidence and brings market fear, you're going to see more money go into the safe haven currencies and come out of the risk currencies and come out of the stock market. Okay? There's no positive. What positive news is there for gold? And gold dropped deep right now. Fucking Bob. There's no news right now. Fucking mans are so stupid. Fucking no news headlines. This is just gold doing regular gold moves. I got a girlfriend. I don't have to try to get pussy. You know what I mean? Like, you know who sounds like they get no pussy? Guys who say you get no pussy in a YouTube chat. They sound like they get no pussy. You're the one who's typing that to me right now, sitting behind a screen, listening to me trying to make money and take a trade. You know what I mean? And I don't even ban the trolls. Right? You have to understand that. So don't get FOMO during these gold moves. And that gold drop wasn't caused by any news, and there wasn't any positive news that came out for gold right now. Like, it sounds like we were looking for sells and you took buys and you think this is a news drop. That's what it sounds like, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Sounds like you wanted to go against what I said. So when I said gold's looking like a sell below 1852, you started jumping in buys. You think this 1 minute drop was some news move, but it's just gold, man. We've seen gold do way more aggressive moves than that. So you have to be very objective, because when you start trading based like on what you just said, and you took a buy here and you got taken out and you think this is a news move, that's you not taking responsibility for your loss. All right. That's just you not taking responsibility. FOMO is the fear of missing out, Mr. Ellie Beats, which is a major issue for emotional traders within Forex or in trading any market. A lot of people, when we were looking for gold sells and they missed this move, they get the fear of missing out, so they start jumping in sells based on emotions willy-nilly. Mr. Maxwell, right? We got another retest too. This 30 looks like it's still going to close fairly nice. Let's go back to see how GJ's setting up. Before we do that, we don't have too much more economic data overnight. We're going to be looking at some of the GDP figures for Eurozone, but other than that, not too much else going on. GJ is not showing me any clean setup until we come to react to one of these price points. Either break below 0.500 right here, or we're taking buys above 0.800. Just because the fact that we are at an intraday high, I don't want to start jumping in buys at the top without the price action confirms of buyers' momentum and more order flow in the market. And I don't want to start jumping in sells with such an overall bullish trend without the confirms of exhaustion at these highs and a break below a significant price point. Okay, we're just going to zoom in here and watch accordingly. Once we do come to 0.500, how we react. If we do come to higher risk sells would be if we come to 0.800 and fail to break. Let's just say London Open sweeps up first, creates that upper wick, and we fail to break. Big ball sells would be at 0.800 and then sells below 0.500. Oh, Mr. Maxwell, yes. That was good. That was good advice, eh? People have to understand that losing in trading is 1000% unavoidable. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that towards the end of the stream when we do our banter and mental talks and roasting talks. Let's just go through the analysis across these other pairs first before London opens up in the next 15 minutes, so we can be set for trade ideas. All right. GU now, similar idea of GU and GJ, in the sense that right here, what the fuck you talking about? What is it? I'm being patient. No big balls. Don't worry about it, Reggie. Okay. That's great to hear, Master Tahar. Anyways, GBP USD. Primary in this quote, GBP is a risk currency. Secondary in this quote is the US dollar, safe haven currency. Because markets have been running on that smart money sentiment of optimism, as with the support of central banks, global stock markets have been extremely bullish. If it loads here, we're just trying to get exhaustion on stock markets now, but overall, if you look at global stock markets, they're bullish as fuck, right? They've printed new all-time highs and intraday highs, extremely bullish overall due to that support of respected central banks for their economies and all of that stimulus. This in hand deflates the US dollar, deflates the Japanese yen, deflates the Swiss franc, which are safe haven currencies, and more liquidity goes into the risk currencies. Now, yes, GU higher time frames is bullish, right? But look, we are starting to get exhaustion at these previous highs around 1.375 higher time frame key level, but also creating this order block since about January 17th over the last 10 to 12 days. All right. Can you guys see that over the last 10 to 12 days between these actual candle body closures, not the wicks, look at where the candle bodies are closing on the upside and downside. If we could get US dollar continued strength overnight, and validate that exhaustion at the highs. Like when we're watching the dollar index right now, the dollar is just playing around its intraday highs, but we want to watch this closely because if the dollar breaks back into this range and continues bearish, there's higher potential GU, GJ. The famous streamer girl Sharadi, who the hell is that? You guys are trying to fucking troll me too much in this chat. That's why I roast, because I don't know what's serious, I don't know what's jokes, but that's why I also love you guys. I don't know who that is. I don't know if this is some troll name you're trying to get me to say. All right. Okay. If the US dollar overnight continues bearish, showing us markets are more optimistic, there's higher potential that GU, GJ, Euro USD are going to go up. All right. But other than that, if the dollar stays bullish and we continue up, we can look for GU sells below this range and look to target previous intraday lows, as we can expect a deeper pullback as we've seen GBP buyers and sellers behave before at intraday highs. All right. So what I'm primarily looking at is the fact that we're respecting 1.365 key level, but also still respecting the 1.377 key level and just playing in this intraday range. I would only be looking for buy scalps on GU up the ranges of about 40 pips. If we fail to break then I can see these safe buys, similar to GJ, but I'm only looking for safe sells. What's a Budapest? Is Budapest? Capital Hungary is Budapest. Is this, what does that mean? Is that a bad thing? Is that a nerd? Huh? What are these messages in the NAD deleted? Anyone think Iron Man has closed any trades in the past decade? I know it's a fucking city. I thought it meant something else. Anybody catch another 30 pips on this gold retest for a quick scalp on the 1 minute? I know what's his name did. We're still in that bearish bias. I'm just primarily now waiting for London Open over the next 8 minutes. GJ, we're just going to be watching it if we either break below 0.800 or below 0.500. That was a quick 20-30 pips as well, eh? Just watch for London Open so you don't get spiked out if you're leaving runners running. All right? Thank you, guys. Anybody who gets offended by my roast, don't take it personally. We are trading corrupt ass financial markets. This guy is surprised that I have a girlfriend. I'm extremely fucking handsome and I make a lot of money. It's not surprising. I got voluptuous biceps in my arms. It's all good. I'm fine. I'm confident in myself. You know what I mean? If you have issues with your self-image, that's on yourself to figure it out. You guys are acting like I didn't used to be on social media. Like, just because I got rid of IG doesn't mean I don't have pictures existing on the internet. Right? So yeah, GU, similar idea. We're starting to see some reaction between our key level and these 1 minute high points, where we're getting a bit of a consolidation. I don't want to play guessing games in this range. I'd rather validate exhaustion at these lows, break above 1.3695, and then you have an easy 40 to 50 pip range up. Or validate the exhaustion by buyers, sellers jumping in by clearing out these 1 minute lows and coming below 1.365. I would rather not stress or fight the current range. All right. There's no point in stressing as an intraday trader or scalp trader and trying to force trades when the markets are fairly messy on the pair you may be looking at, right? Private chat. Those EU sells yesterday were beautiful, eh? What's up with traders in fitness stuff? I think it's very very important for traders to be very, very self-aware and improve weaknesses in their life outside of trading, because it's going to directly translate and impact your trading. What I mean by this was, I was talking to Mr. Maxwell in the chat about this, okay? Let's just say somebody doesn't trade, but they want to get into trading, okay? But this person has anger issues on their day-to-day life, right? I don't know. I don't post any fitness pictures. I just like to stay in shape for my own self-image, like of what I want to look at, how like my strength and shit like that, right? I don't really care. Like I don't really post. Like I don't have IG anymore. Anyways, let's just say somebody has anger issues outside of trading. Something as simple as what's something simple people get pissed at? Fucking traffic. Let's just say something simple as traffic. You know how people on their day-to-day morning commutes, they can be raging in traffic, getting pissed at something that is completely out of their control, right? If some guy wants to come into trading, but he can't even control his emotions in traffic, how is he going to control his rage when he loses money in the markets? Do you understand me? If some guy doesn't have the confidence or knowledge or experience in himself to execute, or let's just say go after maybe a girl he likes or apply for a job he wants, how is he going to have the confidence or knowledge and experience to execute on a trade? Right? So I've been really, over the last year and a half, my first 2 years of trading, I focused on learning as much of the technicals. I know, guys, about gold. Relax, man. All right? I learned enough about technicals and fundamentals where people started to ask and want to get mentored. They wanted to pay me for this information. But after that, I started to hit a plateau with my trading gains, and I didn't start to increase my trading gains further or break that plateau until I leveled up mentally and from a psychological perspective. All right? Understand that. So ever since then, I've been focusing on the trading psychology. Okay? Holy Nanad, take it easy, bro, Nanad. Yeah, take it easy, Nanad. Fucking, I'm gonna remove your moderator. Yeah. Anybody, yo, that's you had 2 opportunities to catch 50 pips on gold. Can't cry about that. Yeah, I can't cry about that. You guys better send a like in the. You know how many streams didn't even take a trade yet, or even give analysis yet? So okay, but now let's see this double rejection that we're getting here. Let's be very cautious about how London opens up and if this was all a liquidity grab. All right, Let's be very cautious here. You guys watched both and didn't have the balls to execute. I don't know how many confirms you want, but don't worry about it, all right? Yeah, you guys gotta take it easy in the chat, all right? The GU sell target, if we were to break below here, I would be looking to target, honestly, from an from a scalp perspective, this wick would be my first target, 30 to 40 pips, if we were to break below this level, right? But after that, from a scalp perspective, once we clear this wick range, I'm looking to target the next intraday low, as well as 1.35 higher time frame key level, if we get those confirms. All right? Yeah, let's go back to EU. I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason I like to look at multiple pairs, because I remember in 2019 during the month of November, the entire month of November GJ ranged in like a 30 to 40 pip range. So like I was like, what the fuck? Like there's no point fighting this, you know what I mean? Mamba FX, is that the guy who posts like big booty thumbnails for Forex? Capital hungry, I have more money than you. Then why are you watching me? Why are you commenting in my YouTube chat then? Shouldn't you be doing things with your money? Like, what the fuck you doing in the middle of the night on this YouTube stream with all of us if you're rich? Man said to critique. To critique what? You don't have better things to do? Yeah, you don't have better. If you have more money, what are you doing here? You don't have better things to do? All right, so what I wanted to look at on Euro USD was that we're primarily going to be looking at how the US dollar is either going to have strength or weakness. But yeah, London Open right now just started. But we can't deny this is the 30-minute time frame, 4-hour hourly. You're going to see it anyways, right? You can see that the amount of rejections since January 18th we've had from this price point. All right. So I'm actually looking to see if we could come down here, reject for some high risk, high reward bounces. I don't really see any good sell opportunity where we're currently sitting, but let's look at the lower time frame, see if we can create some more defined bearish market structure, which, yeah, we can right here. This is beautiful. Actually, this is very nice. If we come up to these, because what's the dollar looking at? Still bullish? Dollar still fairly mixed. New hourly candle opened up with a minimal upper wick. Let's see how the dollar's still going to move overnight, but it's still sitting at highs, holding some short-term strength. We're looking at the headlines to the left. Nothing too significant right now. We haven't had anything too high impacting. Sorry, I just wanted to clean this up here. I am in the Eastern time zone. What are you guys talking about? Do you have a checklist of confirms? Yeah, that's what we label out here. Like for example, for GJ buys, we would need failure to break 0.500, a break above this consolidation minor or lower time frame order block, price above 0.800 with a lower time frame breakout or 1 minute break and retest, and that is by 3 or 4 scalp confirms to say I can take favorable buys up to 144 and then watch price action accordingly. All right. And the inverse for the sells, with the sells being we would validate buyers exhaustion at intraday highs, we would validate a failure to break above 0.800 and the high starting to get smaller and smaller, like the upside bounces. And we would also validate a break below 0.500 ppl to run down the range. All right. We haven't taken any buys on gold. We've only taken sells so far. There's been 2 sell opportunities with this, where we had this initial breakout and minor retest for 50 pips down, and then we had this retest and 50 pips down. All right. So gold, unless you got 1852 entries, there is no entry point now unless we break below 44. Then we're scaling more entries down to 36. Otherwise, we're patiently waiting for a pullback. GJ is just playing between this little very minor lower time frame 15 pip range. We're not messing with it. We're waiting for our confirms there. GU, similar idea. We're only taking buys if we don't revisit these lows or fail to break these lows, come above these 1 minute highs in medium term zone 1.3695. And if the US dollar is weak, we can check off these confirms to start taking scalp buys up and watch price action accordingly. Yeah, GJ, you have to understand that when GJ or GU or GBP pairs, when they're trending and new highs are created in a bullish trend, you get these periods of correction, which is either going to come as either one, a consolidation phase to generate more order flow and liquidity for an impulsive move, or a pullback to get buyers in from better price points, right? So that's why with GJ, I don't want to force a trade in the consolidation, and I don't also want to burn my mental energy or stress as GJ or GU's consolidating, okay? EU, I'd only be looking for buys above 1.21 flat, or if we fail to break 1.206 again here. High risk buys would be failure to break here. This is a strong decision point. I should label that out. Yo, Nanad, stop fucking banning everybody for every message, bro. Focus. That shit went to your head. All right. This is a very strong decision point when we're looking at here, even from December. Look. Okay. If we were to have a clean break below here, easy, deeper corrective EU sells to mirror some of this downside move and have that deeper correction on the higher time frame. I see to 1.9 flat, 1.99 area, 1.9 flat. All right. Yeah, Denad, this isn't. I'm saying fuck in the stream. You're not, and you're banning people saying fuck in the chat. I gotta remove Nanad's powers, yo. People aren't liking what he's doing. Sorry, man. Sorry, Nanad. You weren't being a good moderator. Okay, so if it fails to break here again, this is a high risk buy with the amount of failures we've had to break this area multiple times. But if you wanted to be safer and wait for your confirms on the lower time frame for safer buys, what you would need to validate is failing to break this area and also breaking this lower time frame bearish market structure. Where since the last couple of days, this bearish market structure has been respected by sellers. All right. So if you wanted to wait for your confirms for safer intraday trade buys on Euro USD, and you don't want, and you're not confident in taking the high risk bounce area here, just because you might think it's going to break below, you don't feel confident taking your buy there. There's not enough confirms there, right? You would then wait for a validation and failure to break this area, price to break bearish market structure, and to come above a higher time frame key level. This would show a shift in the lower time frame structure, as well as more bullish momentum and buyer order flow by validating a break of that bearish market structure. This above 1.21 would be the safer buys, even if you want to start rushing it above 1.2085. All right. The high risk, big ball having high reward buys would be from this bottom we were talking about, where it's a very strong decision point that we've seen respected since early December when we were looking at the 4-hour time frame there. This is exactly where we're having this bounce right now. But this is a very strong decision point where the current structure is bearish. So we could very well respect this bearish structure and finally break below. That's why this is a high risk buy area, because your confirms for taking a buy here are simply the previous rejection we had, as well as the dependency that significant price point won't break in a lower time frame support. If we create a lower time frame support, those are your confirms to take a buy there, right? But you have more confirms for buys, but it's less rewarding if you wait for this, then break and retest above the structure to show more buyers momentum. It's not as rewarding as taking an entry from this bottom, but it's still more confirms you develop and you check off. You validate the respect to this low, you validate the break of bearish structure, you validate the break of a higher time frame key level, and you validate more buyers momentum coming into the market. All right. And I'm also looking at how we react here. And yeah, I'll check out US30 right now for you. We haven't done US30 analysis. Let's check it out. I don't know where it's looking. I don't know what it's looking like right now. All right. The entries, whether you like to take a higher risk bottom buy or a higher risk top sell, or you like to be more patient and wait for your confirms to develop, this is all dependent and unique, dependent on your financial background, your risk threshold, your confidence, and your experience. I started trading and I was using smaller lots and I was more of a hero. I used to take those higher risk entries of trying to call a top or a bottom. Yes, they play out, but sometimes they don't, because you don't have as many confirms as when you're waiting for a shift in structure or a shift in momentum and you're checking off your confirms, right? But it is more rewarding, obviously, if you were to take a buy here and price goes up, you're already in this much profit compared to the person who's waiting for all their confirms here. But this entry is safer with all those confirms. Okay, so I'm watching right now. I don't like the fact that EU is currently sitting at that very key decision point, and we're just and over the last period of a couple of hours, we've just been playing in this range. I'm watching to see how we react here and how we react here. If we start to create a lower time frame support here, high risk buys. If we break and retest below, we're adapting to continued sells in the respect of the structure. All right, I just have to go to the washroom. So give me 1 second here, everybody. And then we're going to break down US30. And then we're just going to be watching our pairs overnight, as well as headlines, answering questions, looking at charts, and waiting for 1.2206. 1.206 here. If you just go out to the 4-hour chart and see the reactions we've had, you'll see in this area, roughly 205, 206. On EURUSD. If you guys need to see any analysis on these pairs that we've already done, such as gold, GJ, where gold we're in a sell bias primarily. We're just watching reactions right now. If we're gonna break below 1844 for further sells, honestly, big ball buys. If we fail to break here and come above 1849, there's big ball pullback buy opportunities. But other than that, we're primarily playing the sell bias. We've already looked at, planned, and executed on these sells where members caught it for 50 to 60 pips. And then this pullback retest of right on the key level on the dot. Can't get cleaner than that for 50, 60 pips, right? I'd only be looking for pullback buys now if we were to come above 49, where we're starting to see this 1 minute rejection. Otherwise, we're looking for continued sells, breakout below 44, targeting 36. All right. Like we were overall in this, we got the retest during pre-London hours instead of exactly at London Open. We had the clean breakout and retest. Where sometimes you get it pre-London, sometimes you get it at London Open, sometimes you get it 5 hours after the stream during New York. The good thing is all these trade ideas are still very much valid throughout New York session as well if we don't get the clean moves. Like for example, GJ right now, how you're seeing it just go up and down, if it just ranges overnight and generates liquidity, but then we finally get the break of the significant price through New York, you can still execute these same trade ideas that are valid through New York. All right. Okay, so we discussed GBP USD, we discussed Euro USD. Before I go to the washroom, how are global equities looking? Still fairly slumped and indecisive at their all-time highs. Australian market starting to enter a range, US30 in a bit of a range, Japanese yen and China at their intraday highs, UK stock market in a corrective stage after peaking highs, as well as German stock market. As per economic data, we just have to be mindful of some of the GDP figures, but that's more towards 5 a.m. Eastern, not too much else besides that. Don't forget your mental reminders. As traders, our job is not only to do analysis or take trades and make money, it's also to manage our emotions and risk accordingly and focus on our long-term visions and continuously follow good trading principles to develop that repetition and discipline. Okay, so make sure you stay smart, follow your trading plan. If you made some money on those 2 gold sell opportunities, great. Don't chase another dopamine high and another rush feeling, and make sure you reset yourself and stare at the markets objectively before you take another trade, or just stay the fuck out if you caught 50 pips. That's fucking beautiful. In a few minutes, can't go wrong, right? If you didn't catch any trades, don't have FOMO or feel like you're never going to catch a trade or all opportunities have been missed. The market is always here. We've seen the market here during wars, pandemics, biological warfare, real warfare, financial issues, right? It doesn't matter. But your capital may not be. All right? Stop saying the word fuck. Bro, have you ever been inside a trading room? Probably not. Actually, a lot of you guys haven't probably been on a trading floor. I have. Not actually worked there, but I've experienced a trading floor before for RBC. These guys don't give a fuck about language. You think man's trying to make money in the financial markets give a fuck about language? You're a pussy. There's no way you got more money than me if you're worried about language. So you're a liar. No, there's no professional trader coming to a YouTube stream to watch to critique people's analysis. You're just some bum boy. You're just some bum boy sitting in your mom's basement right now. You know what I mean? Fortnite on one screen, Pornhub on the other screen, my YouTube on the third screen. That's what's going on tonight. That's what's been going on for the last week. All right. Before I come back, when we do US30 analysis, I just gotta go to the washroom, right? Yeah, bro. You got your dick in one hand and you're typing to me in the other hand. That's what's happening right now. You're not doing no professional trades. You're not coming on YouTube just for fun. You specifically knew the time of this stream. You knew how to get here. You knew when it was gonna start. You were so excited to when this stream was gonna start to watch me. You were so excited. You were so happy that I started the stream. All right. I'm also gonna watch these sponsored ads. right, everybody. All right, I'm back. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, just checking some of the news headlines to the left here. Overnight, we just got some headlines regarding Russia's coronavirus reporting numbers. Nothing else really going on overnight. Gold, I'd only be looking for scalp buys to become above 49. Otherwise, we're still very bearish in lower time frame structure. GJ, we're starting to show a bit more bullish momentum, but again, only taking buys above 143.800. GU, we're starting to react at these previous highs here that we had marked out. But this is not a clean enough breakout just yet. I would like more of an order block form to start taking scalp buys up. I want to see if the dollar's looking nice and bearish. So if we can get an order block formed here on GU and a support in the next couple of minutes and failure to break lower, there's a nice scalp opportunity available here if the dollar can continue bearish. All right. Euro USD, we're only taking buys if we have a break and retest above these 1 minute highs. We're watching the reaction around here. Dollar is showing that weakness so far though, but we still need a clean break above these 1 minute highs. GJ, yep, only above 0.800. Then we have 20 pips up to 144 and watch price action accordingly if we go to 144.2, but still just watching how we react around 0.800. Okay, US30. Now, US30 has a lot of potential just to continue right back bullish. It looked like we were going to get deeper correction on US30 as we were respecting this bullish market structure. And then after showing this exhaustion at all-time highs, we finally had this impulsive break and retest of that structure, right? But you can't fight the Federal Reserve. And if you just look to the left, that impulsive sell-off went straight to this intraday order block to the left and failed to break previous intraday lows. And when you're looking at the candle bodies, we still came above a very critical psychological and higher time frame price point on US 30 Dow Jones, which is 30K flat, okay? And of course, you can't fight the Federal Reserve. So what I am looking for a potential continued buy opportunity on US 30 to retest 3750 is either one, a retest of 3300 and continuation up, or a break above 3500 and continuation up. I'm looking to target 3750 area, right? We can see that we're starting to create a bit smaller highs on the intraday time frame. So obviously, if we could get these buy entries and we were to break above this area and break that bearish market structure, there's even more potential to extend to previous all-time highs. All right. Current price point, I don't see anything too favorable. I am more just looking for either a retest of 3300 or the breakout above 3500 for Euro USD buys. Okay. Like a crypto hard wallet ledger. No, personally, no. See how we still rejected? See how I was talking about this medium term zone where we had this previous rejection? So we were starting to get a bit of a support created here, but I didn't see any buyer's momentum unless we could break above this point. And you can see the rejections we got here where it's already given a bit of a 20-point scalp from that point. Obviously, if we can clear these 1 minute lows, there's a lot more potential to start digging down into that 1836 region we're looking at. And as gold is just still playing in that higher time frame range we've been talking about, right? Gold is still just playing in this range. That's why I don't want anybody to start jumping in buys. You guys sold GJ high. You guys took high risk sells at 0.800 tap. Those are the big ball sells if we went up to sweep near those highs and didn't you work for a proprietary firm. What's the name of the firm? Let's search up your position right now. What's the name of the firm? Yeah, 5 seconds to answer. What's the name of the firm? What's the name? It should be within the Securities Commission, right? A full hedge fund or firm, a legalized business firm. What's the name? What's the name? Why are you taking so long? What's the name? Why are you Googling it? Why are you Googling a firm name right now? You're taking too long to answer. You're listening to me. That's what I thought, bro. Just shut the hell up, all right? Doesn't take that. If somebody asked me, hey, what bank did you work at? Oh, RBC. You know what I mean? It takes 2 seconds to answer. Where do you work? Oh, I work at fucking Walmart. Where do you work? Oh, I work at McDonald's. Where do you work? Goldman. So you took too long, bro. Talk is shit. Just because you trade IML, you're not trading for a firm. What's the firm, bro? What's this firm you're talking about? What's the name of it? Why are you still trying to Google something? It's too long now. Now nobody's gonna believe you. You had your chance for glory. Now nobody's gonna believe you. You had your chance for. Hey guys, he had his chance, eh? He bitched out. He could have shot everybody up and said, "My name is this, and this is the firm I work at." He said FTMO. He didn't say FTMO. Oh, I said FTMO. Yeah, I was just joking around. You know we like to joke around here, guys. Guys, go Google, right? The behavior on trading floors through the years. Do you think all these guys were nice and kind to each other? Or do you think they were fucking yelling at each other, bitching as they're trying to make money in the markets? And then after they go fuck hookers and go to the strip club together. All right? You guys gotta relax and not be so focused on the language I'm using or people getting roasted or trolls, right? It's a trading trading pit. It's a trading room. Yeah. Right? At the end of the day, we are trying to finally somebody sent a chart. Thank you, Crystal. Let's see what you're looking at, sir. Finally, somebody actually fucking sent a chart. Nobody even been sending charts. Yes. Okay, so what is your question, Crystal? If we were to take 0.800 buys, am I worried about potential rejections here? Or are you talking about this is the range you're looking to take buys? Yeah, man. Trading pit is just full of filled with animals, stocks, currencies. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, you guys can send your charts. Okay, so we have to understand that GJ, the higher time frames is still very bullish, and GJ could easily come up to 144 and reject again. I am personally not worried about these price points. I'm worried about the previous high area and the psychological price levels 0.500, 0.800, 00 flat, 0.200. If I see a clean break above 143.800, it's going to show me that all this ranging was buyer side liquidity, as the higher time frame on GJ is still bullish. And if we could break above the 0.800 quarter point theory psychological price level, it shows me that there's more buyers momentum, and this was all buyers order flow to revisit previous highs. That's my logic behind that. Okay? So when I'm coming out on GJ here, and let's just say we go to the 30 minute and we clear out everything. GJ on the higher time frames is still extremely, yeah, that guy left, eh? F in the chat for Saru. That guy, that pressure hit him. He shit his Fruit of Looms, and he had to go put them in the fucking laundry bin before his mom sees. No, you didn't get. Who muted you? Nobody muted you. What a liar. Now he comes out. Look who came out with some random shit. Look who just came out with some random shit. Wait a second. You fucked up, buddy. Okay, wait, one more question. What do you do there? One more question. What do you do there? What do you do at the Hudson River Trading Firm? What do you do there? Do you manually trade there? Are you a manual day trader? You said you manually day trade for this firm, Hudson River Trading, right? Hudson River Trading focuses on high frequency trading. It's a high frequency trading firm, right? You know what high frequency trading is? It is algorithmic financial trading. These guys are hiring programmers and data scientists. They're not hiring manual traders. You dumb motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker, bro. You stupid idiot. The one firm you send is a high frequency trading firm. They are trading the spreads within milliseconds. They are hiring the best programmers, mathematicians, and scientists. They're not hiring financial analysts. You fucking retard. You know what high frequency trading even is? Did you get muted again? Did somebody mute you again? You fucking dumb motherfucker. You spent 5 minutes searching for a fucking trading firm, a low-key trading firm, and now you realize that they primarily focus on is a multi-class quantitative trading firm specifically in high frequency trading. Let's see what the working jobs are here. Oh, algo trader developer. Oh, I don't see algo trader developer. Huh, what kind of career opportunities exist here? Fucking bastard, man. I wanted to sign up on this shit. But it looks like they're hiring developers. Where is this? What's this? Fuck, man. I want to sign up on this shit. But it looks like they are bringing a scientific approach to trading the financial markets, aka sophisticated computing environments. So they're hiring programmers, data scientists. They're not hiring no financial analysts or manual traders. You fucked up. You fucked up, bro. You fucked up. You fucked up. Did somebody mute you again? Because Ninad's not here. Mac's not here. David's the only moderator right now. He's not muting you. I'm not muting anybody. All right? You fucked up, buddy. All right, anyways. So, with GJ. With GJ here, you can see the rejection at 0.800 and failure to break higher so far. But what I would be looking for, as we haven't had any significant breaks below previous lows, where if we don't break below 0.500, this is an order block or zone that's being created in liquidity that's generating in the market or a consolidation, similar to like what we had happening here, or similar to like what you have happening here, right? If we were to break out to the upside of this and break 0.800, this is to me showing me buyer order flow entering the market. All right? That would only be validated if we had the breakout above 0.800. Otherwise, we could reject 0.800 for those big higher risk sells like I was talking about. And if we break below 0.500, have deeper pullbacks in this higher time frame range we are in, where this is the 30 pip range to revisit these lows. But right now, where GJ has been ranging over the last 6 hours, I don't want to mess around in there. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm patiently waiting to see if this consolidation is buyer side liquidity. I will validate that if we break above 0.800, and then I'll take buys up to the highs. Or are we going to get a deeper pullback as GJ has already created intraday highs and it's a new month and still early in the year? I'll validate that if we come below 0.500. Yeah, this guy literally spent 10 minutes to go search up a hedge fund and doesn't realize that they're primarily a fully automated fund. They don't have any manual traders. They're hiring programmers and algo developers. And this guy says he day trades there. What a fucking retard. Come on, man. You don't think we're going to research? We do research here. It's a full automation scientific trading firm. They're looking to hire algorithm developers. This guy was on the internet, keyboard going fuck, small legal hedge fund. This guy was like, please find something. What is this? Hudson River. They won't search this. Search this up. Hudson River. All right, tell them this. All right, fuck. I shit my Fruit of Looms. Let me change my undies and let me tell them Hudson River Trading Group. And then we searched it up, and guess what? They don't even have manual traders there. It's all scientific based. It's all algorithm based. It's all mathematic based. It's all quantitative based. They're hiring scientific engineers, mathematicians, programmers. They're not hiring anybody from financial analysis. Oh man, funny times, eh? So that same idea. GU, this is looking a bit more favorable for a potential scalp to the upside if you guys took an entry at this order block low and support that's being created, as the dollar's still relatively flat. But to see that GU squeeze, we need the dollar to come back below this range. All right? So if you're in a GU trade, set your risk accordingly, or have a fairly tight stop loss, or just leave it risk-free. All right? Yeah, buddy was doing research hard, and now he disappeared again. He keeps saying he's being muted, but he's not. Like, nobody's muted here. Gold starting to break above 49, but nothing too clean. The cleanest plays were the sells. Euro USD still rejecting at this key price point area. The same time Euro USD is rejecting these 1 minute highs, or the same time GU is reacting at this significant price point, it's the same time dollar is reacting at this previous highs, right? If the dollar can melt through and come back into this range and show bearish price action and more seller order flow, then we can get that higher potential for that GU scalp squeeze and that EU buy squeeze. All right? But I just want to see how the dollar is going to end up closing over the next 18 minutes. GU gave a good entry just at this order block, but nothing good to really hold. Worst case, you'll get taken out risk-free, but there's nothing really clean yet on GU, GJ, or Euro USD. Yeah, there's nothing good to enter yet. This would actually be a potential high-risk sell area, actually, for a scalp sell, right back down to this range. If the dollar bounces 20, 30 pips. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm still watching here and here, like we're talking about, and obviously we didn't break above, we just rejected. Similar that we did here. GU, I don't think it's going to have the buy squeeze. I think dollar might bounce. I think dollar's gonna bounce. You have to understand, the dollar broke out above previous highs and is retesting that area right now. So if it starts to create a support here and jump and have more buyer pressure, then stay out of GU. We have to watch the dollar very carefully at these previous intraday highs here. Also, no bank traders are looking at candlesticks. Bank traders look at economic data and bank contracts and order flow. You know what I mean? You think they're looking at fucking 1 minute candlesticks? And it's all automated nowadays. It's all machine-based. Just like that Hudson River Trading Company since 2002. High-frequency trading. Computer-based. Yeah, sure. I can look at this chart. If you guys have charts that I missed in the YouTube chat, just send it again. Sorry. I'm gonna open Manish's right now, and then anybody else's who I missed. I didn't mean to miss it, you know. So you think if the EU, you can get. Wait one sec. You think if the GU will retest the 1 minute lows from the range marked out? Yeah. If the dollar fails to break, then these lows will get, like, if the dollar goes bullish and we come back below this because this wasn't the best price action, like I was telling you guys, we're gonna come right back down to the bottom of this range like we've been seeing. You know what I mean? This is why I advised everyone to set risk free or stay out, because it wasn't the cleanest when we were looking at how the dollar was moving. Plus, we have the new hourly candle, which might give us a cleaner setup. All right. Gold is starting to break above 49, slowly creeping back up to 52. We could see the exhaustion we are starting to get from our medium-term zone and on the lower time frame. Sellers exiting positions, buyers starting to jump back in. Let's still watch. Let's still watch if we come up to 52 on how we react at that price point. If you want to see how I do top-down analysis on a pair, just because we primarily scalp and do intraday trades here, come to this Capital Hungry YouTube channel and watch any of these. Like, these are full. These are from like yearly charts all the way down to an hourly chart, Mr. Gbp Jpy. If you want to see one on EURUSD, this GJ analysis from 3 weeks ago is still very valid. This buy analysis is up like 300 pips. If my analysis is garbage, then why are people following the trades or on this stream? And why don't you click the X? You know what I mean? You're probably just as washed out as the guy's username you're using, Carmelo Anthony. You're washed out. All right, so GJ, EURUSD, like a gold, these are full breakdowns. USDCAD, this is from months ago, but it was still, even these analysis that's from months ago, which has played out, it's still going to show you how I do top-down analysis. You have psychology webinars, technical webinars, fundamental webinars, right? If you want more than that, and if you want if access to the newsroom to the left, if you want access to Zoom sessions every single night, if you want access to intraday market updates, weekly recap webinars, key level price alerts, right? Like, you know, the 1852 price alerts when where people were talking about that. If you want access to that, the session alerts, the all 50 plus educational webinars, the banter chat, the community of like-minded traders, the newsroom, the main feed. Then you can also see what we offer in the private chat for a month-to-month basis for premium members. But if you don't want to pay for anything, then you can just watch these streams and follow all these free resources. So the Capital Hungry YouTube, the Capital Hungry Twitter, and the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis chat. Yeah, QBank's fucking trash. So you're gonna learn a lot more. You're gonna learn more from my free YouTube videos than QBank's paid course. I'll bet you $1,000 on that. If you message me and you go through all the free YouTube videos, I 100% bet you'll learn more than Daniel Savage or any of those Miami Man's paid courses. 1,000% I'd put any money on that. And then if you want to learn more than that from what I offer for paid services, you can join the private chat. Trust Forex is trash. Luca Punatillo is a straight scammer poser who copied and stole from Capital Hungry for months and just pretty much copies everything I do and regurgitates it. So Trust Forex is fucking dog shit. I don't know half these other people. Anybody, if they're from Miami, let's be realistic here. You know what I mean? If they're from Miami and they're posting if they're from one Miami and two posting Lambos, then come on. You're probably not going to learn much from them. GJ only gave the high risk sells if you took it at 0.800. Nothing clean yet. Gold also nothing clean yet. Gold's actually starting to create some very minor bearish market structure here that we can start to see based on these significant lower highs that are being created on the 1 minute. You know what the shitty part is about guys like Daniel Savage or Lambo Raul is that they could scam people from their broker, they could scam people from their algorithm, they could scam people from their signals, they could scam people from their fucking money management, but they're just gonna forget about it, post some cars for a week, talk about some random shit, and then people are gonna buy their next course they come out with or do their next service because everybody just looks at the flashy shit. You know what I mean? The Ray Cartier guy from Toronto, scammer. He hates me because I exposed his ass on Instagram. Yes, sir. I agree with you. This is exactly what we are looking for as well on GJ. They know Forex better. They have Lambos and shit. Yeah, if then go take their courses and learn from them. You know what I mean? Pa, 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 pa. Yes, sir. This is exactly the same thing that we're looking for as well on GJ. With same targets as well, up to previous intraday highs, not playing around in this range. I agree with you, sir. Sure, let me check your chart out. Let's see what US30 is doing. Still holding its bulls. USDCAD we didn't touch tonight. This was a nice buy trade from the morning at 50 pips. Euro USD gave those high risk sell entries. Anybody take those EU sells we're looking at the top of this range? Gold, the next set of sells we're going to take on gold will be easier below the 45 area. What's this? UJ. UJ on the hourly chart. Okay, so what we can validate here, I like your chart, very nice and clean. So what I see is that we've had bullish market structure being respected, and buyers on UJ have been continuously printing out highs. Let me change the color of my marker for you. All right. And we can see buyers have continuously printed highs with either a pullback or consolidation phase to go revisit these highs. But now, as we've peaked these new highs, after we had this pullback to get more order flow that failed to break structure, we went to revisit these previous highs and failed to break higher. This shows a lot more buyers exiting the market and sellers jumping in hand. Now we've had this very aggressive, stronger sell-off that's canceled out the last 5 to 6 hours worth of bullish price action. I 100% agree with this, where if we could break below this order block consolidation range, as well as that bullish market structure and retest, you can either take the breakout entry or the breakout and retest entry and look to target previous price sensitivity areas. I agree with this. It's very nice. What is going to give you more validation on this is if you also pay attention to the dollar and if the dollar can come and snap back below this range. But if the dollar continues bullish, right? If you want to look for other confirms, if the dollar continues bullish and we don't break this price point area, we will just continue to range like we have before until we have enough fundamental confirms or catalysts for a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. Century Capital, bro, if you guys want to listen to what's his name, Donut Doused, go ahead, bro. I have no issues with IG Donut. I mean IG Doused. What's his name? Fucking Fat Jew. Fucking, what do you guys know his name? IG Deuced. I don't have any issues with him. We used to talk when I was on Instagram, but he is just like, he even admits he's like a generic, he's following that generic marketer path because like he's made all his family already has money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? Like his family is already rich from selling watches. He's in the watch business. Like he didn't get his cars or anything like that through Forex trading. So he advertises and shows the life that he was already born into, which is wealth. Right? Which is fine. If he's 100% open, showing and marketing that way, showing Lambos, selling signals, etc., that's to each their own. And if you want to follow these people, like I said, go ahead. But all I'm telling you is, if you are following these people and you are not learning, or you are not getting value, or you feel like you wasted your money, and you want to try something else, then you can check out all these webinars for free. And if you learn more from these free webinars than all of these Lambo marketers, what's that tell you? That's all I'm trying to say. Because these are webinars across technical and fundamentals, across everything for free on the YouTube. Psychology, etc., They're going to teach you a lot more than Fibonacci or just basic shit that you're going to pay a course to learn. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to pay for a course, or if you want to learn from those people, then go for it. There's nothing against that. As per the analysis you sent here, sir, I agree. Very nice. Dollar looks like it's going to close above the range still. Let's see how the next let's see how the next hourly closes and opens up. Right? So if you want to listen to some 20-year-old, if you want to listen to some fucking hairline receding dudes who get drunk as fuck and trade drunk and high and waste your money like that from Miami posting Lambos, go ahead. If you want to listen to Lambo fucking Raul, where all his money comes from his dad, who's a celebrity dentist, go ahead. If you want to listen to IG Donut, where all his money comes from his fucking parents and their watch business, and he's a fucking rich fat Jew, go ahead. Do I care? No. But don't come here afterwards. Gee, man, fucking took their course and lost, man. I fucking used their signals and lost, man. You know what I mean? That's up to you. That's up to you guys. All right? Now, when we're looking at the headlines to the left of the screen, we haven't had too much. This has been a fairly quiet night. These sells played out great twice. The only real W tonight has been the gold sells. You know why Daniel Savage has great chompers? Because guess who he's friends with, and guess who his business partner is? Lambo Raul. And guess who Lambo Raul's dad is? Dr. G Smile, the celebrity dentist. They got their teeth whitened, probably on a discount. Yeah, GJ's been fairly slow overnight. That's why we didn't want to rush anything. All right. That's why on GBP, he can make more money than me if he wants to. If I came from wealth, let's just say I already came and my family was in the watch business or in the car business, or my dad or parents are already generating millions and millions of revenue, right? you can have the risk to enter the market and trade with $1 million, $100,000, $500,000. $100,000 to you, of somebody of privilege who was born into wealth, is going to be like $1,000 to somebody else who wasn't born in that situation. It's a different perspective of money. The key of trading is percentages and growth. It's not impressive just for somebody to have a $500,000 account and show that they make a few $1,000s a day, or they're taking 100 lot trades. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like if Lambo Raul wants to show big money, it's not that impressive to me when there's no value being provided to people. If they're so good, why aren't they? I'm not blaming anybody for being born into wealth. I'm saying if they are, if it's not, it's no, a big account is no psychological level to carry. You're clearly a new trader. You're clearly a new trader who has no experience. As you develop your trading, your perspective of money changes as you develop your skill set, right? So it's way different for somebody who has $500,000 worth of disposable income to trade with versus somebody who has $5,000. Right? It's just a different situation. It doesn't mean that they're a better trader than somebody who has a $5,000 account just because that person with 500K is making more money per trade. That just doesn't make sense. Right? But every single marketer, all their little lackeys hate me because at the end of the day, you all paid for their course, but you didn't learn anything. You're not making as much money as them. You're still mad. You're still coming here to watch my stream to see the analysis I'm giving, or to see what I'm teaching, or to see what I'm providing for free. You're still coming to do that. You're still coming to defend these marketers that you didn't even learn anything from. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you learn from these marketers and you make money from their teaching, then why are you even coming here? Am I that interesting to you? Because at the end of the day, I don't even know you exist. So that means your perspective is coming from a pure social media perspective. You don't even know him. Where I actually have talked to the guy and know him. Like, for example, you guys are pissed about, okay, how about this? How about this? What's this? Who's this? Who's this? It's Daniel Savage. He's talked about how he wants to sell signals. I've told them what I don't like what you do, all the courses and shit. The same shit I'm telling you guys, I've told these guys to their face. That's Daniel Savage saying how much he loves these streams. Hey, just finished watching your stream. Besides your trolling ass and you talking shit about me, everything is great, bro. He even says, these cards give me a real bad look. Let's be real. This is me and Daniel Savage having a conversation about exactly what you guys are defending him on now. So what is this? Me and him had a full conversation. And me saying, hey, you guys can do what you want. What I don't like is these generic marketers selling cookie cutter courses and signals and not providing any value. I straight up told him to his face, one-on-one. So you guys are defending people who don't even know you exist when I've had conversations with these people and I've been involved with these people in this industry for a period of years now. So how come Daniel Savage can be humbled and have a conversation with me, but you little goonies can't? You get what I'm saying? I could tell him straight up. Doused had messaged this guy before too. Had conversations with him on IG. You know how many times he's tried to contact me to handle Luca Punatillo for him? Like, I've had conversations with these people and know their intentions and know their goals. They've openly told me their intentions and goals. And you guys are arguing with me about their intentions and goals. So what's your issue? Right? Exactly. If this stream to you is toxic, at the end of the day, you guys don't have to watch this stream, right? It's just like a free YouTube stream. Right now, the reason why I've been more bantering and talking about random stuff is because the main pairs we're looking at, such as GJ, GU, and Euro USD, have been ranging. We got a nice double retest of this high again, but we haven't really done anything else. You know what I mean? So we just been, as markets have been ranging overnight, we haven't had any news headlines to discuss or talk about. We haven't had any economic data to talk about or discuss. We haven't had any shift in structure or trades to execute on besides these gold sells twice. Gold looks like it's going to be a sell off again here, to be honest, 49 to 44. But other than that, um, I'm still don't enter yet. Let's actually wait for the retest of key levels. But other than that, we haven't had too much go on overnight. We can see the dollar has been in a range overnight, as well as the equity markets. Silent actions. Jeeve, don't you think that GJ and GU will range until Thursday? But weren't you just getting mad at me for talking about these other traders that you said make so much more money? How come you don't go ask him? Why don't you go ask the guy you're just defending? Why are you asking me now? Is he not awake and available for your questions? Crazy, right? But don't worry, I will answer that question. Yes, that is why. Yes, that is why. I'm answering your question. I was just being a dickhead for a second. So we have the UK monetary policy statement later in the week, but I don't think that is the only reason why I can see GJ ranging. One of the main reasons I can see GJ ranging and why we laid out those trade ideas and we weren't playing in this range is because the way that buyers and sellers react every time highs are printed in this bullish trending market. So every time we've had GU and GJ is the same structure. If you zoom out on GU and GJ here, and you go on the 4 hour, you're gonna see the same thing primarily. All right, okay, it's like bang bang, just a bit different, just because obviously the secondary is the US dollar. It's had some different impacting factors, or the yen could have some different impacting factors. But from a general educational concept, because it's a risk currency against a safe haven pair, and primarily GBP is the same in the start of this quote, you've seen similar market structure. But every time you see GU or GJ buyers GJ buyers create and print a new high, you can see on the higher time frames there's higher potential for pullbacks and consolidation phases. These pullbacks and consolidation phases don't break market structure, but it's just the reaction of buyers exiting out positions from the market and cashing out, and sellers jumping in hand to relieve them out of the market. So what I'm essentially looking at is that if we don't get clean breaks of these previous intraday highs and we could break below 0.500, there's a lot of potential for buyers to exit out positions, as a lot of the market optimism and buy side moves have been priced in, and we could have GJ enter a corrective pullback stage. All right. So the way I would validate that we are entering a corrective pullback stage or a consolidation stage, well, right now we're in a consolidation on the intraday time frames, and we're looking like on the lower time frames. But the way I could validate a pullback stage starting to be created is if here we get a break below 0.500 and fail to break previous highs, and start to create lower time frame bearish market structure. All right. That's why with current GJ price positioning overnight, all we've seen it do is grab liquidity and range up and down about 15 pips with no significant breaks between those price points we're looking at, as we are in this intraday and higher time frame range. And yes, we might not get the next impulsive move until a fundamental catalyst comes into play. That could be any pre-pricing for Bank of England. That could be anything regarding Brexit, COVID, or of course lockdowns, or how that is going to develop. All right. So that's why we haven't been messing with this range. As scalpers or intraday traders, we haven't been stressing out or getting a headache playing this range. We haven't had significant reactions at 0.8 or 0.500. Gold, I'm going to be watching the reactions at 1852. We're starting to create some very minor lower time frame bullish market structure, but if we don't break these rejection points again, I do see another sell opportunity. If we break above on the lower time frame and create a support, then we're adapting to buys after we've already banked out these sells and validate the exhaustion from those lows. If anybody has issues with my trading, analysis, roasting, language, voice, behavior, personality, this is a free YouTube stream. You don't have to watch it. That's the craziest part. You just don't have to watch it. You know? And most of the people that are trolls are usually those marketers that I fucking destroyed. Luca Punatillo, he's fucking dead. Or these other guys I've already had conversations with, you know? Say Punatilli as much as you want. It's probably you. He's fucking dead. Yeah, you just click the big red X and then you don't have to watch these, right? But for anybody who does enjoy these webinars and enjoy the analysis, banter, and everything else, hit the like button, subscribe, and we do these every Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you guys see anybody hating or trolling, we're just gonna call them the Fruit of Loomers. Yeah, you guys can send charts and everything, especially when the markets are ranging. All right, and we've already executed on some trades, and there's not too much else going on overnight. Don't be shy to send some charts, and then I'll look at those charts. Right now, I just have to go to the washroom. We haven't executed anything on GJ. GU is just starting to break above the order block. GU on the new hourly created that support and is creating that support above the order block highs here. So this is nice. If anybody got in GU on the new hour, but watch price action accordingly. If you got an entry in this area, just set it risk free so you don't take a loss. We need dollar. If this dollar candle just creates this upper wick and can turn bearish and come back into range, those GU buys will be good. And these EU buys above here will be good. Otherwise, watch this area accordingly. I started getting back into the gym and working out, even though like we're all on lockdown. So I've been drinking a lot of water and eating more small meals consistently. I eat like 8 meals a day, straight rice and chicken, or potatoes and chicken. Anybody who's sending charts, just wait and send them again when I come back, and I'm gonna just be looking through charts when I come back and giving my feedback on anything you guys have sent. All right. If that's Luca Punatillo, you're 5 feet tall, bro. You can't be talking when you're like, you know what I mean? When man can put his chin on your head. Dumbbells? I don't know. I just been doing more flat bench. I could do 225, no problem. Because I still have that muscle memory. Dumbbells, probably 100s on flat. Max. I'm not showing my picture again on stream. I'm not flexing on anybody on stream again so they get sad. And I lost the picture. If somebody sends it in banter again, I'll post it. I'll show it on stream. Otherwise, I haven't taken any pictures recently, and I don't have a webcam set up ready. I'm watching U.S. dollar. Equity market's still fairly mixed as well, and I'll just be back right now. All right. Fuck, man, we just so close to a 52 retest on the dot, but I'll be back in a second here. Yeah, Luca took the CH course, then copied it and regurgitated it into his Trust Forex and copied everything I did every single week. He's a fucking loser, man. That's why he's so mad, because his Trust Forex company is pretty much dead now. But it's nothing. It's not my fault. I've killed a lot of marketers and shitty and people trying to Protein Paul personally destroyed. Luca personally destroyed. Some of them just end up talking to me like Daniel Savage, just saying, "Hey, I respect what you do." So I'm like, "All right, fuck it, I'll stop talking shit about you." Like I showed you guys that conversation. I'm gonna be back in exactly 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna grab a snack as well. Getting hungry, man. Talking for hours and hours. Yeah, the only reason we're more bantering and talking shit and joking around is just because the markets are ranging. If you guys want to see the analysis we did ahead of time on these various pairs or like on gold, just rewind this webinar to see how we were calling the gold sells and why and the analysis across the other pairs. As you can see, even to the headlines to the left, as they're refreshing, there's not much going on tonight. And even with the economic data reports, and as it's early into the new month, you know? And nobody take my roast or bad language seriously. That we are all trying to make money trading the financial markets. Corrupt ass financial markets, right? It's not always going to be kumbaya, be nice to each other. Sometimes we'll be talking shit, and we have to have that comfort level with each other to be able to banter, but also share analysis and share valuable information to each other as well, right? But I'll be back right now. Okay, what's going on now? Sorry. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you only trade GBP pairs, like especially if you only trade GJ, which I know you do, there's no point fighting this range or stressing out if the opportunities are not there. You can see we just been playing in that 15 pip range pretty much all night over the last hours. So that's why we already identified that ahead of time. So we don't have to fight or have any like incorrect expectations, I guess you can say. We already expected it at intraday highs either to range or give us that potential pullback phase, but we haven't gotten that pullback we're looking for sells below 0.500, and we haven't had those safe buys above 0.800 either. There's no point to force a trade in a ranging market and just to stress yourself out for no reason. What else we got going on here? We haven't even had any headlines come up since I was gone for that. Usually there's a headline every single minute. Yeah, GJ still rejecting those high points. GBP USD, it gave a quick little squeeze, but like what is this, 10 pips, and still fairly indecisive. Euro, third time rejecting this previous rejection area, but still just primarily ranging overnight. Kareem, can you send that with the full little code with the X and everything so I could paste it easier, Kareem? Anybody else who wants to send any charts for me to review or give my opinion on a trade idea, send them now. I'll look at all those now because market's fair. Besides those gold trades, nothing else has been clean overnight. We didn't even analyze US30 properly earlier. Dollar still bouncing and respecting those previous highs like we were talking about, right? So yeah, anybody who wants to send a chart with the trading view code, like send it now. And we'll be looking at charts for the next like 30 minutes to an hour. Anybody in the Zoom chat or in the YouTube chat, if the trade idea is set up in the next hour, we'll execute on them. If not, we'll just review analysis and charts. All right. And if nobody sends any charts, then we're going to go see who else is streaming and raid their stream. Monty streaming tonight? Monty's not streaming tonight, eh? Todd Capital Group? Fuck that, man. Todd Capital Group, we already exposed them for buying viewers, man. we already exposed them for buying viewers when he bought those 2,000 viewers that one time. Ever since then, I don't believe like his viewer count. It's always like sitting at the same count as Monty and I, or higher, or sometimes it spikes to 1,000. Seed streaming? Seed? Let's go raid Seed. Seed's not streaming either? Oh, where's your link? No, Cream, I didn't get the link. You have to send just the part at the end with the X forward. Actually, let me see what I can do here. Yeah, C's a nice guy. I don't know Ray too much. I know his girlfriend. I know he abused his girlfriend because she messaged me saying like, "Hey, this guy, stay away from this guy. He used to beat the shit out of me, show me all the proof and shit like that." And there's a court case over that. His ex-girlfriend Christina, Ray Cartier, he beat the shit out of her. I wonder if her video on YouTube's still up. She posted a video on YouTube, but she might have taken it down due to legal reasons. He has ex-girlfriend, who's this Filipino girl, Christina, who I used to talk to as well. She was from Toronto. and then I didn't even know she was his ex. But I started posting about Ray Cartier being a scammer, and then she messaged me out of the blue saying, "Hey, that's my ex." I was like, "Who? Fucking Ray Cartier?" She's like, "Yeah, that's not his real name. Like Ray Cartier. I forgot what his real name is, but it's like obviously his last name not Cartier, some like Asian shit." But she's like, "Yeah, he like that's my ex. He was super abusive. He beat the shit out of me." She sent all these pictures of her like bruised up and shit. I was like, "Oh wow, fuck." She's like, "Yeah, it was an active court case." I was like, "Damn." Because when you guys have to understand, Ted, Raja, and I, when like Toronto was open, we used to party pretty hard. Pretty consistent weekends. Ted's an animal, man. So we met a lot of people, or like for example, you guys know Wicks Don't Lie. His stream or Wicks Don't Lie. He's been involved in the trading space a lot longer. His stream gets like thousands of views live. You know what I mean? When we we're clubbing in Toronto, people would recognize Raja. This is before all the family. This was like just when when his wife was pregnant and he was having a kid. Then obviously he became a family man. Yes, he would still come out a couple nights, but before that, man, we used to party. I'm not gonna say any details, but we used to party hard. We used to fucking get bottles after bottles after bottles after bottles. It was just insane. We met too many people. There'd be people who would be recognizing Raja in like as we're at a Toronto club, say, "Hey, your Wicks don't lie." You know what I mean? So we met a lot of people in the GTA who would be like following us on social media or be following our trade analysis or information. You know what I mean? So it was cool. But that's where I met her. I only found out after she was related to, or she was an ex girlfriend to Ray Cartier, because she said, "Hey, like this guy was abusive and he beat the shit out of me." You know, I was like, "Oh fuck." I'm looking to see if we break these ones. There's a lot of price sensitivity here, but this looks like it could squeeze down that 40 pips when we were looking at this 49 price point. Everybody claims to use some AI software and shit. You know what I mean? But fuck it. Nobody else sent a chart. No, the PPLs are psychological price levels, Jimmy. Those are just on specific pairs, like GJ. The key levels, yeah, they're based on those quarterly, monthly, and annual perspectives. But if I was to go into a new space where there has not been any price data, is what you're saying, I would base it off an average size of the previous ranges. Here's a chart. The movement in silver has been due to that little bit of a Wall Street bets community movement as they've been pushing up certain altcoins in silver. You have to understand, silver's market cap is like the size of some small companies, right? The price of it is a lot easier manipulated compared to like a currency or gold. That type of shit would never happen on gold. If you had 4 million retail traders take a gold buy at once, gold would probably move up to like $1. You know what I mean? It's all about, you have to understand that Wall Street bets, these different stocks that they are essentially trying to increase the value of are stocks that are very low value and have small market cap, so it's easier to manipulate the price with less order flow or total capital or volume, right? 4 million people actively buying a small market cap stock is going to obviously increase the price when there's only so much total volume or capital in circulation for that stock, right? Or commodity or alt currency or cryptocurrency or whatever it may be. the hell? What did I forget here? Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. This is the 30-minute chart. So we're going to look at what you're looking at from what you have sent us. I can't get too much information here, but what I can see is it looks like we were coming down from a bearish trend, created a low, sellers started exiting positions, which created this pullback phase. This pullback didn't correct the seller's impulsive move or trend. It created a lower high, and now we're going to revisit these previous lows. If we were to break and retest below these previous lows, it is expected that sellers would then impulsively go to create a new low, running in this overall seller structure. So just based on the 30-minute chart and what you are showing me here, technically, if we could break this previous low, that would make sense. But the one thing I'm iffy about is when is the RBA stuff tonight? We do have some Reserve Bank of Australia. Oh, that was already, yes. Okay, that never mind. That's passed. That's passed. So that's already priced in. Okay, so yeah. Other than that, technically this looks good. All you need to do is break these previous lows and use that area as the technical resistance, like you're saying, and then continue right back down. You could even look for an impulsive sell at the break of the low to catch that initial play. And then if you get the pullback, you could always like secure some partials and enter again. But if you don't get the pullback, you would already be in that position if you don't get the full pullback you're looking for, and we get a deeper sell play down. You said that would you sell into the messy range from 0.800 here? This was the big ball sells, but you can't extend these sells if you were to take 0.800 sells until we break below this range. So yeah, you can take those higher risk sells and go into the messy range, but don't waste your mental energy or get stressed out if it keeps coming back to your entry and we don't break the range. You can't validate to extend those sells until we get a break lower, as you're watching the lower time frame price action, right? Similar thing to like EU right now. Did anybody take these EU sells? We had multiple retests here on EU for somebody to take that scalp play, right? Anybody catch these EU sells? Failed to break sells back down to the lower time frame range to range trade here. So same type of DI with EU here. The sell play we're looking at. EU is in this lower time frame range, but still respecting this bearish market structure where this is a potential sell entry. If anybody got this sell and we go down to the low side of this range, that's 20 pips. But you can't extend your sells until you break below these lows, right? So for now, for anybody who got these sells and you caught a 20 pip, or you caught, like right now, it's like a 15, 20 pips, right? If you were following the analysis and you waited for the multiple retests of this area and failed to break, and you took that sell and you're up 15 to 20 pips, that's great. What I would suggest is towards the bottom of the range or where we are now, to secure some partial positions and then leave your runners risk-free. Because if we were to bounce off this area and come right back to your entry, you can't be stressed out or be angry at that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't be stressed out that we are not breaking this range, sellers are exiting positions, and we bounce back up again. That's why if you took those EU sells, now we're coming towards where? A very strong decision point. If we bounce off here again and create a lower time frame support, there's another buy opportunity available as we've been playing in this range. If we break below, anybody who is in sells from here can continue to hold your sells, and anybody who else can look to scale in sells at a break and retest below these lows. Cool? I don't send direct signals or give direct signals, but I do send market updates, or we do sessions like this, right? To where I give trade ideas or stuff like this. Like for example, this is in the Capital Hungry Trade Room. At the start of at the start of New York session, at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, I gave this trade idea on UCAD. I said, hey guys, the US dollar has been ranging, but on UCAD, if we don't break this red zone area and we come above price point 1.282, you guys can take buys up to previous 1 minute highs for roughly 50 pips, right? So I send stuff like that. Or hey guys, on GJ, if we get a break below 0.800, you guys can take sells down to 0.500, and with these confirmed. So over, this was sent at 6:30 a.m. Monday morning, right? And this was after we already did a London Zoom session with labeled out these trade ideas anyways. So you can see these trade ideas we're giving out. It's not exact signals because after I sent this, I had to go to sleep. This played out like hours later when I wasn't even awake. I'm not going to be awake for every single trading opportunity. But like this UCAD trade here, 1.282 buys up to previous highs, you can see that played out, right? We didn't break this red zone at the time and previous 1 minute lows. The dollar was showing us that short-term strength and had this upside move and broke above the previous range. And at the same time, USD CAD came above 1.28200 and retested it 3 times. We broke and retested it 3 times here for those 50 pip buys up. All right. If somebody listens and takes that trade but doesn't listen to me of where to exit, that's fucking up to them. Or if they don't take the trade, that's up to them, etc., etc. I don't make the financial decisions for people. Do you understand? But I do give these trade ideas. Hey guys, if the US dollar breaks above, you can take buys from 1.282 back to the previous 1 minute highs, which was a 50 pip range from here to here. You get what I'm saying? If people get greedy and don't exit out when I tell them to, that's up to them. But that 50 pip trade was there. Or for example, with GJ in the private chat, we were talking about, hey guys, on GU and GJ, if GU breaks the lower time frame bullish structure and then breaks below 1.395, there's potential for more downside on that 50 pip range down, which was here. That was overnight in the morning, and that was these cells, which ran 40 pips. 1.3. So you can see overnight on GU, we were expecting this bullish market structure. But then we started to create bearish market structure after breaking that. And we broke below 1.3695, that price point I was saying right here. Oh, I made a typo, but these guys know what I meant. It's not 395, it's 3695, right? Right here. Same fucking shit. Right? And then that sell was there. You had multiple retests and sells down. I said down to the next higher time frame key level in range. Same idea. The sell play was there and it went down 40 pips. If members don't exit out when the support is being created at this higher time frame key level, I can't fucking help them. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I send out trade ideas, give analysis, give pretty precise price points and exactly what I'm looking for and why. But I can't tell you when to enter, when to close, what lot to enter, where to put your stop loss or TP. That's all going to be dependent on your risk. But I can give pointers based on my experience and what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, if someone gets greedy and doesn't close their sells for that 40 pips when we're close to the support, and they ignore this support being created in this shift in structure, and price comes back to their entry, that's up to them, right? But every single week, we do Zoom sessions throughout London session, right? Besides that, I send market update webinars where I'll give trade ideas just like I showed you guys on UCAD and GU, but through a webinar. You know what I mean? Through a video. So it's a video explaining these different pairs. Hey guys, if this happens, you can take sells here. If this happens, I'm looking for buys. This is a range you can play, etc., etc. All right. Todd Capital has more viewers. One, because he's been streaming as long as Raja, and two, we've caught him buying viewers before. We've seen the stream with 2,000 viewers, 1,000 viewers, pulling Raja numbers before, but nobody in the chat. You know what I mean? Okay, so we do in the Capital Hungry private chat every week. We first start off with this systematic approach of doing our mental reminders and psychological reminders. Then we review a psychology webinar. Then we do a fresh weekly recap and refresher webinar of what happened last week, so we understand what's going on in the markets fundamentally and technically. Then I send out an economic events report of what's going on throughout the week, a news briefing of what happened over the weekend, anything important, the political speakers that are planned throughout the week that can impact us, market sentiment and investor behavior analysis. And then after all of that, which is only on Sunday, then we start doing our analysis, which is the intraday market update. And then we do our Zoom sessions through London to look to execute on those trades we already planned ahead of time, right? And then all of those sessions are recorded. And besides that, we also do this higher time frame analysis on pairs, like Euro AUD, higher time frame swing analysis or intraday analysis for anybody who doesn't like to scalp, for anybody who wants to patiently wait, set alerts where we already have price alerts set and wait for higher time frame trades, swing trades, intraday trades, right? We also do we also continuously create more educational webinars. Like I did this one last week on timing the markets and understanding the history of the markets and how to time the markets and how it's different than working a job and the psychology behind that. And in the trade room, we send these updates myself. You get these session alerts telling you when sessions are opening and closing. You get other members sharing analysis, key level price alerts like these GU white lines. Every time a key level gets hit, an alert gets sent to the chat. So if you're not at the chart, if you're not actively watching, you could just wait for an alert to get triggered and a potential trade to execute with some pre-planned analysis there, right? And we have been doing this every single week, every single day, every single month for the last year. So when people ask, oh, how do you have this much experience? How do you understand this information? How do you do this analysis? Why are you so cocky? Why are you so confident? It's because I have been repeating this systematic approach to digesting market information and doing analysis day in and day out for fucking 12 plus hours a day for 3 years now. That's why I know what I know, or have the confidence to stream, or people want to pay for more information, right? And besides that, you also get access to the Capital Hungry newsroom, which is faster than any news feed. It follows from a news terminal with like Reuters icon. I have like a contract with them. That's like fucking 20K a year alone. This news terminal, the Reuters icon terminal, to have the license, to have the API license and everything, that's like 25K, 20 to 25K, depending if you're paying USD or CAD alone just for that, right? So you get access to that. You get access to the banter chat where other members share like useful information, analysis as well. Any funny shit. Because sometimes trading gets fucking lonely. You're up late hours of the night or early hours of the morning. You're sitting at the chart patiently waiting for a trade to execute, right? It could get fucking boring and lonely at times because the biggest part of trading is waiting, doing your analysis and all that's fine. But after that, you're waiting to execute on that analysis you've done. So that shit can get boring. So it's good to have people to talk to, share ideas with. We banter about joke shit, and we also have serious talks about central banks, countries' economies, what's going on in countries and why, how this is impacting members, how it's impacting people around the world, how it's impacting financial markets. You know what I mean? So the Capital Hungry private members, they get access to the main feed where you first get all that, where I send the Zoom links, the higher time frame analysis, all of the webinars and everything else. You get access to the trading room where all that information is copied here, but also other members can send analysis here. I always make sure to get feedback as well, do polls to make sure the content is good quality and people are getting their value. But you also get access to all these alerts, price alerts, newsroom alerts. And then you also get access to the capital hungry. You also get access to the capital hungry educational webinar vault. Right? So this is like this is the old manual actually. Where's the new manual, guys? Here we go. So when you first sign up to Capital Hungry, you get this manual, right? It'll tell you that you get access to all the chats and all the shit I just said and why. And then you get access to all these educational webinars. There's over 50 plus educational webinars that aren't on my YouTube and are across different technical, fundamental, and trading psychology concepts. From microeconomics to macro, lower time frames to higher time frame, and like everything in between. So as soon as you sign up, you already know what you're getting into and why, and how to use the chat and how to best use the services as well. But that is why that paid chat exists, and that is why I could offer that's why I can offer so much for free and have all that free educational stuff on my YouTube, as well as also do these free streams, but still have a paid service because there's so much value that's provided in there on a day-to-day and weekly basis, you know? Gold are getting multiple rejections at these lows. If we come above 1852, I'm looking for one more opportunity for a buy scalp up to 55, but that's only if we break above this area that we were previously using for sells. And the only reason I'm saying that is for the amount of rejections we're getting at this low area and liquidity that's starting to generate, where if we were to break above 52, I could see that for an easy buyer squeeze to the upside as we're coming towards Asian session close. No, I don't do any signals. I don't say, hey, buy this price, SL here, TP there, because I don't give direct financial advice in that sense. I don't manage anybody's accounts because I'm not licensed to do so, or the copy trade, because the same idea for me. I just provide this service, which is capital hungry, that provides all that information on the markets on a day-to-day, week-to-week, and month-to-month basis along those trade ideas. In the same way that we're doing this stream tonight, we do these every night in the capital hungry private chat, except there's less roasting because everybody in there knows what we're doing. So that's why I said, if anybody wants to learn more or dive into it deeper, then you could always join the Capital Hungry private service. And it's $100 for 30 days, $110 USD for 30 days, which works out to about roughly $3 a day. But you get all that information for 30 days. You get pretty much five Zoom sessions a week. You get market update webinars. You get higher time frame analysis. You get all the educational webinars access, and this is every single week is like fresh analysis, fresh trade ideas, and we're being reactive and adaptive to the markets. If you don't like the Capital Hungry private channel your first couple of weeks, worst case, you spent $100 and you cancel your subscription, so the following month you don't get charged, and then you just get removed from the service. So worst case, you spend $100 for 30 days of access to the channel. And if you don't like it, you just cancel like it's a Netflix subscription or Amazon, and then you never have to join or be a part of it again. If you do like it, then you make the choice to continue being a part of the community and the service, like hundreds of traders are part of it for the last year and a half now, right? That's all up to you. I just wanted to make it monthly subscription based because it gives me incentive to continuously provide high quality content to the service and people who are paying, no matter how I'm feeling or what's going on with me. because I have that responsibility to those people. And it also gives freedom to the people that you don't pay $1,000 for a course or $500 or $5,000 and it feels like you got fucked. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people be paying like one-time fees for services, and at the end of the day, you just get tossed into a group and you just get tossed into a chat where you go through a cookie cutter course, and then at the end of the day, you're just talking a bunch of other people in a chat. You know what I mean? I've been there. Like where you pay for a service and it's good for the first couple of, it's good for like a day or two, even maybe for a week or two, or not good at all. But then you're sort of stuck in this community where even the guy who's running the course just drops by once in a while and says some bullshit as he's continuing to sell more shit, and it's just everybody in the chat talking to each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that little rant about the private chat. It's just I get so many questions about it. If you have more questions, just make sure you watch this introduction. If you are thinking about joining the private channel and you just understood what I shared there, you can also watch this introduction video, and you can also watch these other educational webinars first and then make your decision. You don't have to come in blindsided just because I showed you a Lambo I'm driving and then say, fuck yeah, I'm going to make some money. And then you join the service and there's fucking nothing there in reality, you know? But regardless, for free, make sure you like and subscribe to the stream. Make sure you follow the Capital Hungry Twitter, news Twitter, as well as the Telegram channel as well, free Telegram channel. I'm not worried about Todd Capital Group or any of these other guys. Just because if Todd Capital Group has more viewers, that's fine. But you have to understand, we've already caught him buying viewers many times. So if he wants to boost his ego that way, when nobody else gives a shit about him, Raja doesn't fucking like the guy, Monty doesn't like the guy, C doesn't like the guy, I don't like the guy, Ted doesn't like the guy. If he wants to boost himself, that's fine. And if people want to view him, that's fine. But we've already caught him buying fake viewers before, buying fake followers before, trying to do the whole social media. He can say whatever he wants about people having a service. He was selling signals before and fucked people and left, and now he's selling signals again, or has a Patreon for donations. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what a lot of people do. And I think it's for two reasons. One, the person who's running the service is simply in it for the money. Two, they don't have a true passion for the markets. And three, when they usually charge a one-time fee, they lose their incentive after getting that lump sum of money from X amount of members, right? I am truly in fucking love with these markets over the last years. And you can see that with the Capital Hungry free channel, which was running for before I was even charging anything. You know what I mean? Like this shit is what interests me. This is what I like to spend my time on. This is what I enjoy reading about, studying, talking about, doing analysis on, making money on, losing as well. I just make sure my wins are bigger than my losses. All right. Gold, still no clean breaks above 52. It looks like gold is starting to enter in a range as well. GJ been trash all night. I told you guys GJ was going to range. You guys got to trust my trading instincts and not fight the markets. Sometimes it's good just to sit there objectively and do analysis and watch headlines and see what's going on. How active the private chat is? What do you mean, how active? Like just this week. What's the day today? Tuesday? Just this week so far, from the start of Sunday, I've already sent these psychological and mental reminders. We've reviewed a psychology webinar. I did a weekly recap and refresher webinar. We sent a weekly economic events report, news briefing, political events that to pre-plan for, market sentiment and investor behavior analysis, just some voice updates. Then the day after, we did an intraday market. This was the night after. This was only 40 minutes after, actually. Then 40 minutes after that, we did an intraday market update. And then 2 hours after that, we did our London session Zoom. After the London session Zoom, which runs till like 5 a.m., I send the recording. Then I go to sleep, right? While I'm going to sleep, I'll sleep for like 4 to 6 hours. Through that period in time, I'll still send any chart updates before New York session through this trade room chat, and you also have other members sharing their chat, sharing their analysis and chatting as well, right? So this is just all the posts so far right now from key levels, other members sharing their trade ideas, myself sharing trade ideas, Zoom sessions, market update webinars. Just the information that's been sent so far from Sunday. Damn, who's that swole ass man? Right? So this is just the start of the week so far till now. Yeah, it can be busy with people talking in the banter chat as well. We like to keep this trade room. Oh, I see your question now. Okay, so Code Griff. This trade room, we like to primarily keep it for other members to share strictly trading talk, economic talk, and analysis. Right? Either you're sharing some trade idea to look to take, you're sharing some analysis, you're reflecting on analysis, or you're commenting on somebody's analysis, or you're sharing some market updates or news updates like members do as well from the newsroom. All right? So the trade room will be active, but primarily kept clean and professional for strictly analysis and trading talk. The banter chat will be active like all day and all night. People will be sending whatever in here. You know what I mean? With different members. Right? People still send information about charts here. Like we banter about the GameStop stuff that's been going on. The XR, like we watch, you know what I mean? It's still primarily financial banter, to be honest, which I love. Like I like it that our banter is like market related. You know, members will share some trades they took. But this is pretty active all day, all night, I guess you could say, right? Somebody said, do you, after I just said all of that, somebody said, do you share the trade ideas or analysis that you're looking for? Fuck's sakes, man. Oh, never mind. You know what? Just fuck it. Man's talking to a wall. Oh, okay, gold. Okay, now, what time is it? Oh, new 4-hour candle just opened up. It's Asian session closed right now, guys, and new 4-hour candles. This 4-hour candle still didn't break the low of the range. Very nice bearish close, but this new 4-hour could give us our pullback to 55 just for a quick squeeze. You know, if we remain above 52 right now, just for the new 4-hour candle, we could get that quick squeeze and pullback to retest these areas again. Let's watch price action accordingly. You know what I was talking about? With the exhaustion we were seeing down here? We already took advantage of these twice. While we're looking at the buyers and sellers and lower time frame reaction here, I also just want to see how these 4 hours closed across these other pairs we were looking at, all right? Very, very ugly 4-hour close on GJ. Indecisive in the sense of the size of the body and the wicks on either side. And the previous 4-hour close just closed in range. Nothing significant here. Same trade ideas still stand through New York for buys above 0.800 back to the highs and potentially to create new highs and pull back deeper corrective sells below 0.500. All right. hourly is just in the range. I like the rejections to the upside, but we still need a break below these candle body lows in 0.500 to see those sells down to 0.200 and these intraday lows, and potentially deeper if GJ starts to enter a corrective pullback stage as buyers exit positions from these intraday highs. All right. Todd says fuck you. That's all good. Tell Todd go fuck himself. He's a little muppet. I bet 100% Todd's still wearing that a raggedy ass toque, a raggedy ass hoodie as he's inside his home because he's a fucking bum looking boy. 100%. 100% he's just wearing a toque looking bummy as fuck. Nobody understands his deep, thick ass Scottish accent. And he's buying viewers to try to boost himself. I bet my claims are right. My analysis is always right. I know, but I don't like them anyways. So same ideas we're still waiting for. This we stayed out of. We didn't get the clean breaks above the range. And we're still when we're looking at the 4-hour close on GU. Similar to GJ, very even shittier than GJ's. Extremely indecisive 4-hour candle close, terrible body, significant wicks on both sides as we are already in this higher time frame range. Very indecisive. I would stay away from that until we have clean breaks either below the lows or better or more buyers pressure above these 1 minute highs and support created there. London session very weak tonight. Yeah, London session, because we didn't have too many economic data reports, we didn't have any high impacting headlines. Like now we're starting to get some vaccine headlines. Dubai gets its first vaccine shipment. But other than that, we haven't had too much besides generic money moving headlines from like bond purchases of central banks, like bond updates of Indonesia, Portugal, GDP, shit that doesn't really impact what we're looking at. We're getting a retest of 52, but be cautious. I need a support created above here. This is not a buy signal yet. This is not good price action for a buy yet. We would need price to come back above 52, create a support, and then we can see higher potential for a squeeze. Because remember, all we're looking for right now is just that 4-hour candles to start creating its upper wick and then come back down. So if we start to reject at 52 again right here, don't start jumping in buys willy-nilly. Feel me? And obviously, if you already made money on the sells twice, then don't overtrade or over leverage. Keep your mental reminders and psychological reminders in check. Don't forget to keep your mental reminders in check, guys. This is looking a lot better if this candle closes bullish like this in the next 2 seconds. If the next candle makes a quick lower wick and then flips. But don't overtrade, don't over leverage. Look at this seizure. Quick. All right. Yeah, GJ still in this range. EURUSD. Let's just look at how the previous hourly and 4-hour candles closed. Now remember, this is the key decision point we're looking at on the higher time frames. Sorry, my marker's black. That we are sitting at right now. If we over New York session, if we have US dollar strength, US dollar standalone, not EU, dollar index. All right? If you have US dollar strength through New York session, and we finally get an intraday candle closure below here, or if you want to be impulsive based on the lower time frame, there's a lot of potential for downside on EU to run this corrective bearish structure and potentially print a new low. You feel me? But right now, where we are sitting at, just as what we've seen from the start of December 2020, we've seen very strong reactions on the intraday and very aggressive bounces from this point before. That's why I'm saying if we do finally have that break, we can finally validate a lot of sell side liquidity. Otherwise, if we start to create a support here, these same trade ideas still stand. Where the hell my drawings go? These same trade ideas still stand of the safer buys above 1.21 area. Very key decision point like we were looking at. We're only looking to see GJ trade higher if we break above 0.800 to retest previous highs and print new highs. Otherwise, it's going to consolidate and we're not touching it. And we're only looking for sells below 0.500 to validate GBP buyers are exiting positions and GJ is entering a corrective stage. Yeah, it's only the second day of the fresh new month as well, right? And new monthly candles just opened up yesterday. So keep that in mind when you guys reference the higher time frames. If you guys want to know how I do higher time frame analysis, you can watch these various webinars here. US30 approaching 3,500. We didn't get the 3,300 retest, but watch reactions here. Global equity markets are having an aggressive bounce across all regions. Dips are getting bought up. Looks like central banks bought some more ETFs. All regions. Wow, crazy, right? Beautiful. This is so interesting to see that. How the markets are moving as one with that overall optimism, and how you have the central banks flooding their economies and markets by buying these bonds or buying these index ETFs in the billions and billions of dollars. Japan's Bank of Japan straight up said, we got our stop loss and profit at 21K and we're 100 billion in profit. Remember those headlines, private chat? Fucking when I was sending you guys just to like describe in simple terms of what it means when they're saying that stuff, of what it is when they purchase those ETFs using their unlimited money and how it's inflating the market, how they say it's to support the economy and people, but we can see that they're making billions and billions of dollars on this, the 1%, central banks, governments, and down the line of the corporations involved. Jeev, are you in profit based on your... It's hard to scalp with their spread. Most of the pairs I trade on Pacific Union have a fairly tight spread. Usually EURUSD is the tightest spread because it's one of the most liquid pairs, but gold has a good spread. GJ, all these pairs have a fairly tight, like 0.5 pip, 1 to 3 pip spread usually. Sometimes it can be floating depending on the conditions, but other than that. No, the gold buy was either if you enter at the 52 retest, or best just to stay out on the new 4-hour candle, or if we get another retest of 52. Right? It was a nice quick little squeeze, but gold is still very bearish, and we're just looking to play a pullback here. It's 5 a.m. For anybody who's coming in here now asking for trades, like this retard named Amar Rundar Korodi, gold buy or sell, it's fucking 5 a.m. Eastern. It's Asian session, all markets closed, all the way from Korea to Indian markets are closed. New 4-hour candles just opened, and we have pre-New York hours coming up. If you just come to the market and say, is something a buy or a sell, you're gonna lose. If you've been trading for longer than a year and you think you can just look at the charts and execute a trade and that's how the market works, you are going to fail. Quit now and go find a regular job. You will save more money that way and prevent more losses. All right? If you are not ready to put in the respected time and effort of years and years of repetitive work ethic within this industry, right? And go through the trial and error of putting a risk in the market for potential reward, learning from your mistakes, understanding how the market moves, the timing, your trading plan, your goals from trading and everything else. If you don't understand this after a year, quit trading and just go get a regular job, because all you're going to be doing is burning accounts and losing money. And this is why I told everyone, don't jump in gold just yet, because we didn't get that clean of a retest of 52. And we're also still very bearish, and we were just monitoring the 4-hour pullback. All right, we were just monitoring that pullback on the new 4-hour candle. GJ is finally coming down in this new 4-hour to tap 0.500. If we break below on the 1 minute now, we're taking these sells down. All right, you guys have to have realistic expectations from the market and know what you are doing. These are corrupt ass financial markets where every single 1 minute candle has billions of dollars going through it. Oh, here we go. Finally. EU sellers are lit. Great sell here. High risk sell. This is what we're looking for now, is a retest here. Market fear is starting to pick up. I like this. Dixie is jumping. I like this. Gold, obviously we're back in a sell bias on gold. We're looking for we're been in a sell bias. We're just looking for that 52 retest again. GJ, we're looking for the 500 break. Don't jump in willy-nilly. Nothing on GU. Euro USD, if you have these sells, you can extend them. This was a nice high risk 40 pip play. Do you get what I'm saying though? Do you get what I was saying? That for any Euro USD buyers, you can't extend your trades until you break below here. So great sells from here. Yeah, Ale, you were afraid to sell EU this whole time when I was telling you this was a good sell, you know? Very nice sell on your Euro AUD. Good job, my friend. If you got, for anybody who's looking for EU sells, if you're not in sells from here, don't start jumping in here. Now we're waiting for a retest of that key decision point in 1 minute lows through New York. Got it? Because now that we've had an impulsive break into a new low, when you look at how EU behaves, see how, look here. See how you had this liquidity zone and then this low created here. See how price started to dip a bit lower and then we retested this area essentially, then came back down. So now as a new low is being created, I'm looking for a retest of previous 1 minute lows price sensitivity area for more sells to come in. All right. Gold, we're waiting for a 52 retest for the same sells we've been taking all night. GU, nothing yet. GJ, fucking look at that reaction off 0.500. Nothing yet. This dollar spike is nothing new. You guys have to remember, we are intraday trading and scalping these markets. This intraday move on the dollar is nothing new. Dollar moves like this in ranges and like all the time. Remember I told you guys we have to be very careful on the dollar here because yes, we broke above and we were seeing the sell pressure come in, but look where we rejected and buyers jumped in. Remember I was telling you guys that previous high. So what is happening on the dollar right now isn't due to any headline or economic data or fundamental catalysts. What we are seeing right now are just regular market movements. It's not, these are not intense movements. This is the dollar. This, like what you just saw on EU. Zoom out. This is what you just saw on EU. Right? Do you get what I'm saying? This 4-hour candle right now, like these are not intense movements. This is just regular market movements. These are what we've been waiting for with the volume to finally kick in. You understand? When you come onto gold, these huge 50 play sells, which look so drastic on the 1 minute time frame, and is great to take as intraday trades, when you zoom out, these aren't drastic movements. We're still in this higher time frame range still, and that 4 hour just did what we were talking about making that upper wick. I wanted that upper wick to come to 55 for better risk versus reward sells. Instead, we came between the zone and then back below 52. You know, we don't control when the pullback is going to be complete. We observe it by watching price action objectively. Understand? But as per the reason for those moves, it's just the market moving in the trend it was already in. EU, we already identified on the lower time frame that sellers are in control, did we not? So with this impulsive move right here on EU, what's the difference between this EU move and after having this consolidation phase and this EU move? Nothing. It's just the market. The market's just moving. The difference with UJ, Kareem, that is iffy, and you have to understand, is that USD JPY is a safe haven currency against a safe haven currency. Both Japanese yen and US dollars spiked at the same time. We just can't see it because right now the Japanese yen standalone is closed. But the same time dollar spiked up, which caused this EU downside move, Japanese yen got some short-term strength and caused this quick impulsive downside move on GBP JPY. Or we're going to see the same thing on that quick spike down on EJ, right? So when you have both Japanese yen and US dollar push up on UJ, that just cancels each other out. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense for anybody who's wondering why UJ didn't move? So the Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and US dollar are both safe haven currencies. Both the US dollar and Japanese yen stand alone right now. Just saw a quick impulsive move of liquidity entering buy order flow into those currencies stand alone. That's why EU and GJ and GU all did the same quick spike move, or EJ all did the same quick spike move. But when you have a pair like UJ, where both currencies at the same time impulsively spiked up, you're just going to have a consolidation move or no move at all, essentially. Understand? Yeah, I think that, honestly, it wasn't a major impacting catalyst, but it was due to this. It was due to the GDP data was actually good. It was better than the forecast, worse than previous for euro. The spike in fear and uncertainty, because let's validate this, because if US30 also did a bit of a downside move and is rejecting, and we're seeing equity start to exhaust, right? That spike in fear was from Japan's prime minister talking about extending the state of emergency until March 7th. It was at 5:17 a.m. roughly 10 minutes ago. So this isn't a major high impacting fundamental catalyst in the sense that it's causing some major market moves. The technical moves that we are seeing are just regular market moves, but that did bring some short-term market fear that Japan is extending their state of emergency, which increased the value of safe haven currencies short-term, like the US dollar and the Japanese yen, and caused that downside move on yen pairs and of course on EU. Now let's see if we can get that retest. But sadly to say, everybody, it is 5:30 a.m. Eastern, and I don't mean to be a bummer. I gotta fucking sleep. I'm a human. I'm going to sleep soon. So this stream is coming to an end. I know everybody wants to keep going. They want me to stream till New York. They think I got unlimited energy. We didn't get the retest of 52, but honestly, we should have been smarter and took these sells here. But it's all right. We learn from our mistakes. If you guys caught if you guys caught the trades on gold, either two sell opportunities here, or if you caught this EU sell, let's get a W in the chat. Send the stream a like, and I will do these streams more often every Tuesday and Thursday. I was thinking about quitting because it's fucking, YouTube chat can get annoying sometimes. A lot of trolls and shit. And at the end of the day, I could just do the same thing with the Zoom chat every day. We already do this every day without the trolls. But if you guys made some money off these failure to break EU sells at the top of the range, 1 minute rejections, or if you made some money on these gold sells, then send a like, subscribe. This is a good question before I go. S. Joko. Gold, yes, is a precious metal safe haven, right? But gold has already been extremely, extremely overvalued from all of the coronavirus impact that had on the supply and demand of physical gold. And after peaking these all-time highs, we have been in this corrective bearish market structure. And at the same time, the secondary in this pair is the US dollar. So when the US dollar sees an increase in liquidity, at the same time gold is in a corrective bearish stage, there's higher potential gold is going to see downside moves as well. Obviously, it could be different if you're trading gold against the euro or gold against AUD. But what we primarily trade is gold against the US dollar. So there is that short-term impact that the inflow of money into safe haven currencies goes up. The only difference of why it doesn't cancel each other out is because this isn't a currency against a currency. This is a precious metal against a currency. There's way more impacting factors on gold standalone compared to a currency, such as the actual supply and demand of gold, physical gold, right? And recently, ever since we peaked these all-time highs and economies have been opening up, the supply of gold has been more available and the demand has slowly started to decrease as we peak these new historical highs. And if you look at what happened on gold during the 2008 financial crash, when we peaked all-time highs, look at how it reacts. Look at this 2008 financial crash, extreme uncertainty in markets, precious metal safe havens explode. Gold peaks all-time highs, and then buyers exit out positions, and you enter this higher time frame range for an extended period of months until you have a correction. We had trade wars, Iran war, coronavirus. What is the difference between what happened 2008 up to now, up to 2011, and what happened from trade wars, all that economic fear, Trump markets? We had the Iran war and the pandemic markets. Look at the repeat in technical structure as well as economic historical repetition. Understand? Now, after gold has created new all-time highs after such a heavy macro bullish run since 2018, 2019, after this order block and support was created, we could see buyers are starting to exit out positions as we've had these mass vaccine talks and market optimism, and gold can play in this higher time frame range for an extended period of months, or finally break below this order block low area and have a deeper correction. Or if COVID-19 turns into COVID-20 and we have more market fear coming to the scene in global lockdowns and break above these highs, brand new highs off the chart. But right now, gold is in a state where buyers on the higher time frame are exhausted, similar to what we saw after the 2008 financial crash and that heavy upside move. And we're starting to enter this corrective stage on the intraday time frames. And of course, we have the dollar having that short-term strength as well. Our new monthly candle is finally starting to make that lower wick we were looking at too. All right, makes sense to everybody? GJ is still back in that range. Don't force any trades. It literally did nothing. It grabbed liquidity to the upside, failed to break. Grabbed liquidity to the downside, failed to break. Nothing significant on GJ or GU. US30, no clean break above. All right, thank you guys. It's been like 3 to 4 hours now. I'm getting tired. I'll see you guys in the next free stream on Thursday. Besides all the banter, I appreciate, besides the banter, roasting, and shit talk, I appreciate the support on these YouTube streams as well as from the private members as well, and providing each other, me providing value. But you guys provided me company. No, I'm kidding. Providing each other value, giving each other company as we're trading, bantering, sharing analysis, making money in the markets, reflecting on trades. You know what I mean? Don't forget your mental reminders. Yeah, that's a tricky headline because it's impacting Japan, specifically the country, but JPY is also a safe haven. So it's causing indecision on the yen, and our GBP or our yen pairs have had that up down spike move, right? But that hasn't broken range. But US dollar's showing a bit more strength. All right. Don't forget your mental reminders, everybody. If you're trading New York, same trade ideas still stand. Don't forget your stream reminders. If you guys want to contact me, make sure to send a like, subscribe, share this stream around the capital hungry social medias around in different trading communities. You know what I mean? And I will see everybody next time.